Hey gamers, welcome back to a brand new DSP video. That's right, we're going to be covering some gamer news. This one is for the gamers. We're not going to be watching his dumbass bags or whatever the fuck. We're just going to cover this gaming segment because, man, it is quite a segment. So let's get right into it.
Let's get to some news, shall we? I mean, what order should we do this? I guess here's what we'll do.
Right. Okay. Let's get all the news out here. I love that this dude brags about being like a professional, getting stuff set up, and you can clearly see he's getting set up now. But whatever. Okay. We're scrolling. We're scrolling? Okay. Man, this
Here's what we'll cover
is pretty
first,
bad.
okay? Wow, there's just so many ways that people are talking about it.
So many ways that people are talking about. This is obviously regards to Polygon. I just love that. I've always had the same criticism of DSP's news segments, and it never changes at all. But he never really forms his own genuine opinion. Like you watch this podcast, you summarize it in the beginning, and you kind of already know at that point what he's gonna talk about. So you're gonna look up the news on your own, and then when you go back to get DSP's take on it, you have to like sit through torture to get to the actual point, and it's just miserable, especially when his takes can be boiled down to about three ways. He'll either pity farm and be like, "Oh, I feel so sorry for them. Oh, I wish this wouldn't happen to anyone. I can't believe it. And these CEO bigwigs are doing this. It's fucked up." And it's always stories that have a sensational amount of people that are like saying, "This is bad. This is unbelievable. Whatever." Like he's just kind of feeding off of the general vibe of everyone else. Or he'll go with, "Fuck this. Look how greedy this is. Fuck that. This is stupid. This is a terrible idea," or whatever the fuck. Or maybe option three, and this is a rare one, that he'll just be happy to buy something. "Oh my god, this is gonna be amazing. I can't wait to buy it," or whatever the fuck. And it's always nonsense. And it's just like, you're not getting anything insightful. Like, I know, I don't want to like taint the well because DSP should kind of like naturally want to do this on his own, but he can't really foster a genuine opinion. He'll just read other people's opinions and kind of form it from that, but nothing else, and it's completely biased. Which you'll see with the Polygon story that he's gonna cover, because it's like I know a lot of people who probably watch my videos that I've talked with have dunked on Polygon before, and that's fine. I'm not gonna tell you that you should feel bad for that or that you should change your opinion or anything, but I never had like a burning hatred for these gaming outlets as like that much. It's like, they just want to make these articles that either want to get people to read it. Some of them might be insightful, some of them might just be for clicks, whatever. Like, Polygon's a huge website. There's a bunch of people that work on it. I'm sure there's like people there that make bad articles as much as there might be some people that make interesting articles, whatever. Like, I don't really read a lot of Polygon, so I don't really have much of an idea. Like, I know some of the talking points that they bring up because I've seen other people like go about it in other ways, whatever. But let's just get into it.
Okay, so here we go. All right. We are in the midst of a gaming journalism apocalypse.
I love that this dude shits on other YouTubers for being over dramatic in when they cover gaming news or whatever, that they try to overhype stuff or they are overly dramatic and this and that. But what is calling this a gaming journalism apocalypse? Isn't that also being overly dramatic? Like, what do you call that? Oh yeah, these people are just saying that he's just saying it's just an apocalypse. Like, okay, that's not being overly dramatic. There's other like publications that are still like in publication right now or whatever. But okay, let's continue.
Hold on. I just realized
Hold
this
on.
camera's on. There we go. We are in the midst of a gaming journalism apocalypse. What does that mean? It means that over the last several days, some of these gaming journalism sites, and I definitely say that very loosely, because a lot of these sites, although they cover games, they also try to widely cover pop culture and other things. And quite
But
frankly,
like these publications, like Polygon, have expanded into entertainment, which is like, natural. Like there's only so much you can really talk about video games, like until you're just repeating stuff. So of course they want to expand to other options. But I just oh man, I just gotta
sites,
hear this again.
and I definitely say that very loosely, because a lot of these sites, although they cover games, they also try to widely cover pop culture and other things. And quite frankly, they try to interject things like politics into their coverage, which is
Okay, wait.
ridiculous because you're supposed to be neutral.
This criticism that they're supposed to be neutral and they try to cover politics, it's like it's kind of a wild criticism to like levy towards entertainment news media because like Polygon, for example, is not a political news outlet. Like you're not going to Polygon to read what's going on in politics today. You're going to other sources. The neutral aspect of it should really be applied to like CNN, Fox, MSNBC, whatever. These other journalists that are reporting news that's going on in the government or in around the world or whatever. Like these are the things that you're supposed to be looking at neutrally, or at least they're supposed to be neutral, because obviously you don't want to read a news story from a journalist that's trying to cover up something that a president is doing that may be bad or whatever the fuck, be it Democrat or Republican, whatever. You want to read something that's going to be impartial and you'll have a better understanding of what's going on and what to think about something. To have this criticism of they're supposed to be neutral for Polygon is it's kind of silly. Like in game reviews, sure, you don't want like a reviewer to like be in bed with like Naughty Dog or FromSoft so that they can say this game is amazing and then the game's like trash or whatever. But that's like as much as it goes. Like, but he says like, oh, they're trying to mention politics. It's supposed to be neutral. Like that in the same sense, it's like nobody's going to Polygon or Kotaku to like to learn about what did Trump do in the White House today. Like you're not going to Polygon for that. Uh, and this is like a publication as well. Like when you look at like Polygon, Kotaku, or just even the newspaper, they also report stuff that's like there's reporting like, okay, we're covering this and we're gonna talk about this, but there's also like opinion pieces, which a lot of these articles that a lot of people like bring up and say, look how bad this is or stupid this is. It's criticizing opinion pieces, and a lot of these criticisms that people have of Polygon articles or Kotaku articles is the body of the work, or they explain why they don't think that this article is, why they don't agree with this article. That's as much as the criticism is going. But that's not what DSP wants to talk about, because DSP doesn't really care about that. He's only shitting on Polygon just simply because they're not dedicating their time 24/7 on just covering video games, which is like a very like finite sort, not finite, but it's not as like daily occurrence. I mean, you can even see that with DSP's dumbass podcast, where he'll just have podcasts where he has nothing to talk about. There's nothing going on in gaming news. So what would Polygon do that pays a staff of writers, journalists, or whatever if there's no game stories to cover? Like, they would go out of business. So obviously they allow them to have opinion pieces, and they can express an idea. Like they could play a game and be like, oh, you know what? Like I want to talk about this idea, or my thoughts on what happened to this game from back then to now, or why they may think that yellow paint is not as big of a deal as some people may think, or whatever the fuck. Like some of these things that they cover are just opinion pieces, and people can dislike it or like it as much as they want. That's, in my opinion, that's the most that I've seen a lot of criticism being levied towards Polygon. When it comes to game reviews or how well they play video games, that is a separate topic and mostly addressing just the game review aspect of it. But whatever. Okay, let's continue.
when you cover this stuff if you're truly a journalist, but these places have not been. They have very much been trying to wedge in their own beliefs and politics into their
Yeah,
uh,
because they're not beholden to that level of scrutiny in a sense that like, because again, you're reading Polygon to like to read about entertainment shit. But like if you're going to like read a story that's about what's going on or about government policies, they should be impartial and neutral in covering that, so you know like, is what this guy is doing actually good? Is it as bad as people are saying it is, or is it as good as people are saying it is? Like, you can't get that if you're reading an article that is 100% up the president's asshole.
their reports and their content and their coverage of stuff, right? But anyway, over the last several days,
Oh man,
basically,
I I love that soup dupe brings up the H3 versus Sound news. Dude, imagine if DSP covered that. Imagine if he did. Just imagine. You know what? That's all I'll say about that. Just imagine what would DSP respond to it. It would probably be like, these people should not be yelling at each other. They should like play video games together and be chill.
basically, a lot of these places have been falling apart. We've got Polygon. Now, Polygon was
Again,
started in
again, he mocks other people for literally being drama hounds. Oh, they're focusing on the drama aspect. This dude is talking about gaming journalism as it's falling apart. Oh, and of course, like, you're seeing a lot of things go down, layoffs happening, but there's a lot of like reasons for the stuff happening. I mean, whatever. Okay.
in the early 2010s as trying to be something that would compete with IGN and GameSpot. It was more like grassroots and it's supposed to be in line with what gamers wanted rather than corporate interests. But over the years, Polygon degraded.
I don't remember anyone saying that about Polygon over the years. Like, I don't remember. I mean, I also don't remember there being a burning hatred about Polygon either. Like, at most back then, like during the game trailers forums era or whatever, people just like, oh yeah, here's Polygon. Oh, whatever. Like, nobody said, like, guys, Polygon dropped an article. Stop what you're doing. Read what they posted or anything. Like, come on. Come on now, dog.
Braided into political nightmarism, basically. I mean, just taking a look at this.
Political nightmarism. Oh, okay. Let's take a look at these headlines. Again, we're just reading the headlines. We're not going to read the actual point of this, because I have heard about this a lot. It does in general fantasy about orcs and stuff like that, but like, look, Wizards of the Coast is addressing racist stereotypes in Dungeons and Dragons. Changes to the drow and orcs and more diverse hiring. Okay. There has been an ongoing discussion, and a lot of people have talked about the depiction of orcs in fantasy. And if you really engage in some of that, you can kind of see where a lot of this is coming from, in the sense that, like, there are instances where people do illustrate racism through fantasy to convey a point, to make you feel one way or the other. Like, I'm not gonna get too much into it because it is a loaded topic, to be completely fair. But I have seen people discuss this in multiple areas, to the point where it's like, it is an interesting thing to talk about. I mean, it's just a topic that this person wants to talk about. They bring up the diverse hiring because they want to bring up, like, probably how they hire people within diversity or whatever, because that's an ongoing topic, especially now. But this was what, 2020. So I mean, there's no talking about diverse hiring back then either, as well. Like, it's just, that's all this is. Like, this is just an idea, and it's an ongoing topic that people have had over the years. That's all this is, and it has been a discussion. But whatever. Okay, let's go on.
Here's what Polygon cared about in 2020. Wizards of the Coast is addressing racist stereotypes in Dungeons and Dragons. Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, but does he understand what racial stereotypes is? Like, it's like, see, this is the problem of just reading headlines and just going off. DSP doesn't have the idea of, like, what that even means, or what could that imply with orcs, and how they design orcs. Where do a lot of these designs come from when they design orcs? Like, it's just a lot of visual language that you're just gonna have to look at and like understand. But it's just a thing that not a lot of people think about. I mean, to be fair, like not a lot of people will think about this. The average person does not like look at Dungeons and Dragons and thinking about this as much, and that's why a lot of people are like that may not like take this article seriously because it's like, well, you're just saying that because that's what you found in what you look at it. That's just something about you or whatever. But it's like there is a like a pattern of this in fantasy or in like media as well when they design some characters or some fantasy monsters, but it's just it could also simply be just a coincidental issue that they didn't think about. They didn't think like the ramifications of what they designed, and they may go back and revise that. That's all that's going on in a lot of these cases is that this was designed in one period of time that nobody seemed to care, but then they're like, you know what, in the long run, this does seem kind of offensive. We will like update the design. And that's like fine if that's what they want to do, but it's like the average person is clearly not going to either know or care or understand why that is necessarily. If you read this, you may come down to the conclusion where you may either agree or say, well, this is not a big deal because it's orcs and it's fantasy. Okay, but like there's other people that may have a different opinion on this. But okay, whatever.
Fantasy.
Let's belittle this idea.
Drow
Let's
and
not
orcs,
engage.
which are fantasy races that don't exist. And Polygon is complaining that it's racist. It's not real. It's fabricated. It's not actually like mistreatment of a group of people if they don't have existence in reality.
But they're not
Right?
saying it's racist towards orcs. That's not what they're saying. Like, again, like because it's really the depiction of orcs, like that. It's that they. I mean, it's a very loaded topic. I don't really feel comfortable like talking about this because I'm not because I haven't like really like read a lot of this stuff recently at all. It's just stuff from like the recollection of my mind. But I do understand that there has been ongoing discussions about this. I mean, the most I guess you could argue is well, I don't want to bring up Fearin discourse. I like Fearin. I don't want to fucking open that discourse well again. I'm just gonna move on.
Right? This would be the
Right?
equivalent of saying like, so you wrote a fantasy story, and in the fantasy story, there actually is a group of people who are like slaves and being mistreated by another group of people in the fantasy story. That's the plot.
This is irrelevant to what the article is about. It's talking about like orcs. I mean orcs are always seen in a negative light. Like that in every fantasy we always are told in fantasy orcs are evil. They're bad. They kill indiscriminately. They're just pure evil, which also like seeps into like the whole racism aspect because look how they design the orcs and look how they're drawn sometimes. I mean, it's just a lot of as I said, like it's just visual language, and it kind of makes you think a little bit more as to like why are they drawn in this kind of way. Orcs are not real, yes, but why are they drawn and why do they pull from other stuff that is in reality sometimes? Like why is it drawn in this particular way? I mean, it is on one hand, as I said, it could just be a happenstance where they just were drawing stuff they weren't thinking about the ramifications of what they've drawn, and maybe they didn't think that it was offensive at the time, and then over time they can actually look back and then think, okay, maybe this is a little like this does seem kind of like silly or a little or disingenuous or racist or problematic or whatever. Like these are things that people can come to their own like discovery over time. But whatever, okay.
And then someone says, well, you wrote a story that's racist. What are you talking about? It's not real.
But it's an irrelevant point because as I said about the orcs, the story about slavery and you want to slide with the slaves, that's not the problematic aspect of it. It would be the problem. It's problematic when it becomes more of like how are they utilized in the story. And all this, like there's a lot more stuff that I don't necessarily know because I know like in Final Fantasy 16 when that game was coming out, I saw a lot of people talk about that, but it's like I don't know, like this is like a medieval game. Like I mean, sure, I get the argument that like this is fantasy. You could dream up anything. You don't need to dream up slaves to be in a fantasy setting that doesn't exist. But it's like, well, like I just don't necessarily know how to grapple with that criticism, because I get on one hand it's like, sure, like it's the same debacle with like Kill la Kill and Quiet in MGS5. Like, yeah, I agree that some of these designs are kind of dumb. I would think Kill la Kill is a little bit more I give them more of the benefit of like of the doubt, I guess. Like, it seems a little bit more ingrained in the design and the show. Meanwhile, Kawhi just seems purely stupid. Like, I don't really like why did she need to be fully photosynthetic? Like, I like that. It just didn't serve a point to me, and it's like, it's kind of stupid. And again, Kojima could have written this in 1,000 different ways. So like that's the aspect I get it from. Like, okay, yeah, this is like objectively stupid, but slaves, I think it depends on what the story is telling is told, and what it's like trying to convey to the audience. I think that's when it starts to matter to me. It's like how it's used. Now, like, the existence isn't a problem, it's just that how it's used is gonna be part of the problem if it's not used in a good way.
The people who are oppressed, you're supposed to side with them. Like, that's the plot. Is that it's fantasy. You're supposed to feel for them, and it's their plight is that they're slaves and they're trying to fight
But
back.
it's not the
But that's
same
racist.
discussion.
It's not real. It can't be racist. You fucking idiots.
Like, it's
But
not,
that's what I'm saying.
whatever.
They're just out of
Okay.
their minds. The stuff that they've written over the years,
Oh, what were the
still,
other?
it can't be racist.
What were the
You
other
fucking
articles
idiots.
that he skimmed through?
But that's what I'm saying. It's just they're just out of their minds.
While D&D reckons with its racist past, this actual play is way ahead of the curve. Transplanar RPG started with ideals of trans representation at the table. Oh, we
The
don't
stuff
want to
that
talk
they've
about
written
that.
over the
D&D's Drizzt books were built on racist tropes. R.A. Salvatore wants to change that. If the Draw are being portrayed as evil, that's a trope that has to go away. Yeah, I mean, do you know what a trope is, man? Come on.
over the years is just it's
But this
insanity.
is so that DSP doesn't want to
Where was
like
the
DSP doesn't like understand these criticisms or what they're even talking about. Like, he doesn't even want to engage with these ideas. But okay, let's move on.
where was the article about where is it? Here it is. This is the best.
Oh man.
Hogwarts Legacy wants to make everyone happy, but Harry Potter gets in the way. Rowling Spectre looms above a vapid open world. Did you even play Hogwarts?
Okay, let's see what this person says. I can't say I'm sorry to see Polygon being sold. They weren't video game journalists, they were activists. Nothing demonstrated this more than the Hogwarts Legacy review. Yeah, oh yeah, it was a review. They did start to get a bit better in the last couple of years, but still, okay. But this says like Harry Potter gets in the way. What does that necessarily mean? Like, they could say that the idea of Harry Potter gets in the way, like in the sense of you'll be playing Hogwarts Legacy thinking about Harry Potter. Like, you're gonna be thinking like, where's Harry Potter? I want to like do stuff with Harry Potter. Where's Harry? Or it could just simply mean the IP Harry Potter in the sense of like all the baggage that's attached to it, such as J.K. Rowling being the thing that holds anything in that property back for some people. Like, again, we're ignoring the fact why some people just have issues with J.K. Rowling and everything that she stands for, because again, I've said this like 1,000 times, and to the point where you know what I'm gonna say, that people just don't want that J.K. Rowling sees any success in any Harry Potter IP that gets success in any meaningful way validates her viewpoint, which is why a lot of people say to boycott her games or to boycott any products that's in Harry Potter's vein, because they just don't want to validate her world view. That's all it is, and people just don't like her for a lot of reasons. But we're not gonna really address that aspect of it, and to say that it has nothing to do with the game. I mean, it does for some people. Like, there are people who have grown up reading Harry Potter and then grown to dislike J.K. Rowling because of her viewpoints and feel very conflicted into liking said thing. Like, it may not bother a lot of people, like, you know, whatever, but it may bother some people where it's like, I can't like engage with this as much knowing that. Like that's all people are expressing when they talk about this. And to say that like, oh, how dare Polygon bring this up? Well, you're just kind of ignoring the fact that the person who's reviewing it may want to bring this up because this person may be a Harry Potter fan that may not like J.K. Rowling's viewpoint and feel conflicted about everything involved with Harry Potter. But let's just ignore that possibility.
Hogwarts Legacy, Harry Potter isn't in the game, and J.K. Rowling didn't have any influence on it. She wrote none of it and didn't actually have a hand in the game being made at all, and it's not even the plot of Harry Potter.
But it's in the
And
universe
this
of
is
Harry
what
Potter.
Polygon
But
writes. This is
okay,
some of their
whatever.
articles that they've written in the last 5 to 10 years have just been insanity.
But
Okay,
you
so
didn't
it's
even
obvious
read the
clickbait
review.
nonsense.
But whatever.
Disney's hottest ranked animal characters. Wait, what?
Okay. To, you know, if you've seen Space Jam, you know exactly the nonsense with this. Because on one hand, it's like we are gonna really shit on Polygon for making this article. Meanwhile, there's been thousands of people talking about uh on Bugs Bunny, Lola Bunny in Space Jam. Like, I mean, dude, there's been memes about this as well. There's also like, I mean, it's a dumb article, don't get me wrong. Like, this is an article I would not even look at. It's like, unless I wanted to laugh and say, look how dumb this article is, but this was just clearly a slow day. See, this is the issue with journalism or gaming journalism, entertainment journalism, or whatever, is that there are people that do at least try to make compelling articles, or that they want on some level you could argue that the D&D articles that we saw earlier might be a little bit more interesting to read and like think about. But then you get articles like this that just kind of muddies the water, which is in every like outlet ever, because they just want clicks sometimes. Like, it's not exclusive to Polygon. Like, there's been a lot of dumb articles that I just kind of like scroll over sometimes. But whatever, okay. Oh my god, dude. This Looney Tune shit is so. Dude, I watched this like live once, cringed then. I was rewatching to actually like listen to his actual points, cringed harder, and I'm cringing again. This dude, there's a reason why nobody does Looney Tune sound effects IRL. There's a reason nobody does that.
What is going on? This is supposed to be a reputable journalistic website. Okay?
Are they? I mean, but this is just an article.
Reputable.
But whatever, okay.
Anyway,
I mean,
been hit with
dude, why didn't he cry or rant about Fox News crying about the M&M, the green M&M? Like, that's just as silly as that, correct? But whatever, okay.
with massive layoffs and have been sold.
Polygon sold to Valnet. Yeah, but you know what Valnet is? Like, Valnet is not a great place either, but whatever, okay.
Sold to Valnet. So essentially, most of Polygon is now gone. They basically are operating on say, a skeleton crew, and if they continue to even exist, all right, they're not going to be a gaming journalism website anymore, it seems. It seems like they may be retooled into something else. And of course, the internet is reacting, basically saying good riddance to bad rubbish and stuff like that. But the thing,
but again, I love that he's focusing on these reports or these reactions that are just one-sidedly negative. He's not really looking at the people who are like saying this is bad or why it could be bad. Like, again, when this news broke, I understand there's a lot of people who don't like Polygon. I'm not gonna tell you that we should all magically care about this, but I do think that in the grand scheme of things, when we start losing these outlets, all we're gonna have left is YouTubers and influencers, which, in my opinion, I think is far worse than a outlet that makes a bad article. Because in the sense that, Polygon, there's a bunch of people that are working there, and you can like kind of find some journalists within these companies that you may actually like and agree with, and you may find some that you don't. But when you start having these YouTubers and influencers be the face of gaming news or whatever, you're gonna find that it's probably gonna be easier to get these people to be swayed than the chance of a outlet being swayed. Just sheer comparison, because at least with an outlet, for example, people may leave and be like, I'm leaving this company. They want me to like force a happy review or whatever. Again, I'm not saying that these outlets are unbiased and all this other stuff. They could be just as biased and all this. I just think it's the bar of buying an opinion is far lower for a YouTuber or an influencer than it is for a gaming journalist, because at some point people are gonna like feel a way about some of these reviewers that are being paid off or whatever, and they may find someone else. But when it comes to a YouTuber, it's probably easier to kind of like give them a contract and say, hey, you cannot do this or whatever. So it's gonna be more of like the nightmare that DSP bitches about with the Golden Boys on YouTube getting early access and this that, because it's cheaper to fly one person out than it is to fly a whole company out, uh comparatively.
Thing is,
Oh my god, I
retooled
love
into
that.
something else. And of course, the internet is reacting, basically saying good
This
riddance to bad
this
rubbish and
aspect is
stuff like
annoying.
that.
So he goes here, he just hovers his mouse around this and then continues to scroll off. He doesn't explain what was like important about why he wanted us to look at what Smash JT said. Breaking: game journalist reportedly laid off today. Polygon Chris Plant co-founder, former editor-in-chief, Michael McWhirter, senior writer. So there's just these people who are rating off. And then fandom giant bomb Jeff Grubb, like, doesn't really click on show more, but okay.
But the thing is, in truth, oh, here we go. A substantial number of Polygon staff members have been laid off or quit, including site co-founder and editor-in-chief Chris Plant. It is near impossible for me to feel pity for Polygon or its army of game journalists. Since it was Polygon that was one of my first to start Gamers Are Dead push and deliberately insulted and attacked their core audience in 2014. No one is obligated to feel pity or sympathy for people who attack their customer base, least of all the customers themselves.
But what?
So,
okay.
here's the thing.
I didn't
At
really
one
care
point,
what was going on in 2014.
Polygon actually was a reputable place.
And guess when that was? Guess when it was? When they made the article about DSP. No, I read that fucking article. I kind of don't think DSP should be praising this article. It was not a well-made article, in hindsight, because it literally contradicts everything DSP says now, or it kind of highlights things positively that DSP says was actually bad. And he also told us that he was playing a character, but in the article he said he wasn't, so he was lying to a journalist. So it kind of in retrospect made the article a fluff piece. Okay, but but the article was it. But I said it when I was reading the article. I think the underlying feeling I had from that article is that I don't think the guy really cared about DSP as a person or an individual or at all. It just came off more as just a dude explaining this phenomenon of a person who just plays video games and is getting paid for it, and is trying to get an idea of his creative voice, which when you read it, you kind of pick up on a lot of some red flags as a creator, in the sense that he has no vision. This has been a running issue has only gotten worse with his streams and his content, is that he does have a vision as to what he wants to do in any meaningful way. He just says these ambiguous terms like, I just want to have chill vibes. I mean, anyone could say they want to have chill vibes. I mean, who says they don't want that, right? But he doesn't really do anything different, and especially now, like there's no growth. And the thing that's so funny is that in the article he keeps saying, I just want to focus on the now and not in the future, which is like probably not a good look for someone who's in the most like, the article even brings up that he's in a volatile industry. Like, this industry could go away at any moment. Like, you should be looking into the future as to what could happen or whatever. Like, you don't have to sit there and cry and then like huddle into a corner about it, but you can do things that can like do like that. Like that's why like that guy in Machine was like trying to poke and prod DSP to be a commentator. It's like, why don't you also do this? This could also open more venues for you or give you more creative ideas. Sometimes when you do something different, it may give you an idea to do something else. Like he doesn't understand that. So that article is was not it it was not good in the sense of like to promoting DSP because I it just made DSP seem very boring and very vapid. It just made him seem like a very like a guy that he doesn't care. He doesn't care what he's doing. He keeps saying, "I love my audience. I love my audience," but then it's like I don't want to think into the future. I just say things that I as I play a game, and that's it. It's like there's nothing interesting about DSP that like it's kind of like, oh my god, this is like a retro review of that fucking article because I don't think I reviewed it very well in my last video, but it really just made DSP even seem boring then. Because again, all he brought up was, oh, I see offensive stuff. I play video games. Like, these are not like interesting aspects of anyone. Like, this is very vapid and like very like passive. And then he says, oh, I love my audience and this and that, but it's like, but he's not thinking about what else to offer them even back then. And then he says like now he's thinking about doing other shows, but he did more back then with Project 7, but he didn't care about that. Like, he didn't think forward enough for Project 7. Like, he wanted to move to Washington. He didn't think at that point, well, what would that mean for Project 7? And he couldn't, like, cancel it because he didn't want to, I guess. But then he did cancel, but then he wanted to revive it, but he didn't think... And that's another thing. He wanted to revive Project 7, but had no vision for what this revival would be. Not even for the trailer, which, you know, anyone that's worked on any creative endeavor, I kind of feel the trailer is kind of the last thing they make. Like, that's why the teaser trailer that a lot of people put out may not even be in the final version in some way. Like, when they teased MGS4 years ago, that's why, like, the teaser trailer was running on an MGS3 engine, whatever engine that was, and it was a funny, silly thing where Snake was like trying to take a director's seat or whatever. Like that's all it is because it's a teaser. They had nothing to show. Like whatever. Okay.
In 2012, they wrote a very positive article about me. Now, this was, of course, before the entire internet turned.
I kind of don't think that article. I wouldn't say the article was positive. I wouldn't say it was negative either. It was just more of just like explaining this phenomenon of a Let's Player making money, and then you read it and you don't really get any insight as to what he does, or like I kind of feel if anyone were to read that article, like if your parents read that article, they would be like, why is this guy like successful? Like all this dude says is that he just plays a video game and he was honest about losing his job. Like, you know, you watch the documentary on 6 Days to Make South Park, you already kind of get an idea as to why South Park has a following that it has, or why, you know, these people like want to do with this show. You get an idea of the passion that's behind that. You watch like anyone make anything, you can feel the passion coming from them. You read that article and it's just like, you know, nothing. That's really nothing coming from him.
Against me and turned me into a negative meme, and you know.
But this is also kind of bullshit because the article also brings up trolls. It brings up people who hate him in that fucking article. And he's saying, yeah, this is before people hated me. No, dude, you brought that up even in that article. You brought up people that didn't like you. But okay, whatever.
This is how you don't play basically became the norm, right? But they actually covered.
But let's say that because I guess in the article he mostly talked about like people will say I'm offensive, which is like a, you know, a semi-vague, open-ended phrase because that may not even be happening, I guess. But if you're saying that people loved him back then he was making stuff up, inventing a narrative that he was some like outspoken guy that everyone hated. If everyone loved him back then the stuff he was trying to portray himself as back then was a complete lie. So it's a bullshit article. Like he kind of devalued the article. Like the person who wrote it, I kind of wonder how he feels about this article now, and how DC has kind of rewritten that history.
Covered me in a very objective, positive way. And a lot of people saw that article and came and checked me out because of
But
it.
yeah, well, the reason why it's an objective, positive light was because it was a clear interview with DSP. Like, he brings, and I see why this like paints his opinion on interviews, and I think it's a very different thing when it comes to the type of interview. When you're trying to get to know an individual, yeah, the interview may be seen as positive, but if you're trying to like bring up criticisms and controversies, the interview cannot be seen positively. Like it has to, you're gonna have to like talk about the drama, like the side scrollers interview. Like he couldn't really answer any question that Craig was offering, which made it a bad interview factually. The On his part, the quartering interview was bad because it didn't push any of the answers DSP was giving, and it was very obvious that that Quarterman did not do any research because he had no follow-ups to anything he was saying. Like, again, you listen to that interview, he says he made up a number for the goal to be $1,000, but you watch the stream and he says that it was some like mathematical deduction to get to that amount. And then he tells the quarterman, "Oh, well, I just came up with that number because I knew I'm not going to hit it." So then why give a number that you knew you weren't going to hit, but then tell us that, like, the quarterman did not even push back on that? The interview that Polygon was doing for DSP wasn't like a interview that was like trying to seek truth, or like, hey, this is it's like, hey, why do you make content, dude? Like, people love you. Why do people love you? Like, of course that's going to be seen positively because it was just a get to know the person. Like, this is why I think this kind of bullshit with these interviews. DSP doesn't know what to look for. Like the Venomous Fat Man interview that was Jake James Lugo was mostly about games. Like, yeah, of course he's gonna say that's a fair interview because it has nothing to do with him. It's talking about fucking game releases. Like, there's all these different types of interviews. But like, if you're gonna hype an interview where you are trying to clear the air about controversies, it also doesn't look good that you say later on, years later, "Oh, I lied. Yeah, you didn't like the answers, but it was an answer." Like, you hype this up to be like a definitive interview. Like this dude it has no idea of what the fuck he's talking about, and to approach this Polygon closure and act as if he knows what journalism is, it's kind of laughable.
Right? But that was 13 years ago. So much changed during that time frame where they just were so desperate for attention and trying to be relevant in the whole gaming journalism landscape that they went off the deep end. Okay?
So they can't talk about what they want
Now,
to talk
you
about.
may say, wow, that's bad. Well, guess what? Giant Bomb is effectively dead as well. What happened with Giant Bomb? Well, basically, they got bought out by this company called Fandom. All right. And when they got bought out by Fandom told them, we only want you to start doing game facts or walkthroughs. Basically, we no longer want you to be a site that has shows, that has editorials or opinions. We just want you to write game guides. That's it. And I guess when asked why, they basically were, well, we don't like your content.
Man, I remember Kotaku had a similar issue where they were told that they have to make game guides, and they said that it's untenable and it's kind of unrealistic to do that, whatever. And he said, "Oh, now you have to do work, oh, blah, 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 blah," and this and that. Didn't give a fuck about why Kotaku was not really happy with it, with being mandated into making game guides. But when Giant Bomb is in that same position, he's like, "Wow, this is bad." So he's more willing to actually think, "Oh, this is bad." But then when Kotaku is doing it, well, since everyone hates Kotaku, we cannot allow them to feel anything. If everyone hates you, then how dare you be upset when something bad may happen to you, right? Like it's kind of insane that he has this double standard that is clearly not intentional, but he has no. But if you bring it up, he's not gonna care to like correct it or think about it. Like it's like he has this attitude where, like, for example, the depression rant. He calls it a disease, and people were like telling him, "No, it's a disorder." And then he got pissed off that people were correcting him that it was a disorder. Like, this dude is not open to corrections. Like, whatever.
Your content, it's not resonating with an audience, and so they took offense. So basically, I think Dan Reichert was the guy who
Wait,
basically well, we don't like your content. It's not resonating with an audience.
dude, they bought Giant Bomb. Like, let's read what this like little thing says. This little post says. Phantom wanted to convert the. I love that we're not reading this and we're not really reporting it. This dude talks about how he reports and does research. He's not even reading what's going on. I guess he did for the politics channel, but he didn't really comprehend what he was reading either. So whatever. Wanted to convert the site into guides only content. This is not the first time a dipshit into. No, oh my god. Just into a game guide site. It's not the first time a dipshit vulture company. Okay, dipshit vulture company tried to convert a game journalism into a game guide site. A fandom executive once asked Dan if Grand Theft Auto was a large player base. Right there, you should kind of know that fandom doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about. Like, yeah, that niche game, Grand Theft Auto, has a very tiny player base, obviously. After Volderberger and Jason were fired, the Giant Bomb crew found out that fandom was pocketing all of the subscriber money and giving them none of it. So they stopped promoting the premium subs entirely. Why are we talking about this? He's talking about how, like, oh yeah, they're gonna try to do this, but look at this bad behavior. They're pocketing money from people who are working on the company, and they're steering them to something that they don't want to do. Like, these are not good traits that a company has, and it's kind of bad that these journalist sites like Giant Bomb was mostly positive. I mean, I'm not seeing a lot of people shit on Giant Bomb like at all, and this is kind of bad. Like, even reading this, it's awful. It's all that a company bought them, and they're so ignorant. They don't even know. Oh, does Grand Theft Auto have a large player base? Like, okay. Dan dared fandom to fire him and will not show up to meetings tomorrow. Some Giant Bomb crew may stay at GameSpot. My idle thoughts, they all followed a new Instagram account called Party Mode Games, so that is likely where people are going next. Fandom will probably finally kill a Giant Bomb wiki and replace it with their lovely wiki code base. Fandom will likely convert Giant Bomb into AI. Okay, I think he does read that part.
With an audience, and so they took offense.
But this is kind of bullshit. He's saying that, oh, they told them that they don't resonate. Why does this dude run such defensive tactics for these fucking shitty companies? Like, I just love that he pretends so hard to shit on Bobby Kotick, Yves Guillemot, but it's so obvious that he shits on these people because it affects something that he cared about. But this, he's like, oh yeah, this company went to Giant Bomb and said, yeah, you guys aren't resonating with anyone. But look at what's going on when this is brought up. All these people are like, this is fucked up. Fuck this. All this stuff. Giant Bomb clearly resonated with enough people, but it's clear that these people want just either more money or they want to steer it to something that they don't agree with. But okay.
So basically, I think Dan Reichert was the guy who was the head of Giant Bomb. So he had a scorched earth meeting on May 1st saying Giant Bomb is dead. Fandom wants to convert the site into a guides only content. Fandom executive once asked Dan if Grand Theft Auto even has a large player base. After Voidberger and Jason
he's literally just reading this, and he's not retaining what he's reading. Like, dude, I read that out loud about the fucking Grand Theft Auto thing, and I was just like, dude, this dude is trying to like tell Giant Bomb how to run their site. They don't even know shit about Grand Theft Auto. Like the game that like made a lot of Grand Theft Auto 5 made a lot of money at launch, has a huge ass budget, but there you go. Does this have a big player base? I don't know.
Were fired. The Giant Bomb crew found out that Fandom was pocketing all of the subscriber money
Oh,
and giving them none of it.
maybe
So
he
they stopped
retained
promoting
that.
premium subs entirely on their business. Dan dared Fandom to fire him and will not show up to meetings. Some Giant Bomb crew may stay at GameSpot. It looks like they're going to maybe be starting some new thing called Party Mode Games. Okay. Fandom will likely convert Giant Bomb into an AI slop house, including guides. Get ready for video game guides that contain AI hallucinations and references to enemies and locations that don't exist. Okay.
Oh, amazing.
So here's the thing about Giant Bomb. I've heard about them.
Oh my god, get this.
From time to time.
Stupid alert. Right. Okay, you heard about them.
Every once in a while,
right.
I heard they wrote a story or they
I love that this dude bitches and moans about game journalists and this and that, and he still sticks by Polygon, Kotaku, all these other sites, even though he says these sites suck ass. But then Giant Bomb, that is like not a big conglomerate or whatever, doesn't read their stories, doesn't look at their stuff, and it's like, whatever. Because you want to know why? Because since Polygon is an established entity that is so big that a normie can like recognize it out of like a lineup, he's willing to read that, because since everyone knows about Polygon, that means that they have some kind of credibility, more so than Giant Bomb, that he doesn't really know a lot about, but he won't look into it. Like, he can't like, this is the other aspect that's kind of annoying and frustrating, is that he's announcing a gaming journalism apocalypse. A lot of people are saying that because they're just seeing like a lot more of these sites are changing, and they're doing guides now and this and that. Like, these are not like promising. This is not a promising outlook. This is not looking good for game journalism, because it's gonna happen to Polygon today. I mean, it happened to Kotaku like last year. It's going after Polygon. Giant Bomb's going down. Like, it's gonna keep happening, and people. I'm like, sure, he's right in that kind of sense, but it's just sheer ignorance that he doesn't even care about Giant Bomb. He had no opinion of it. So why bring it up then?
Have a show that's entertaining. But in truth, can I be honest about all of this stuff? All right, I really like to be, and I hope that you guys don't take offense, because some of you guys may be big fans of this content, okay? I have seen this all from a very different perspective, and here's why. I'm a creator, all right? I'm not a gamer or common viewer or fan of gaming like you are, okay?
What? Oh, let's hear this again. What the fuck does this mean?
It's all from a very different perspective, and here's why. I'm a creator, all right? I'm not...
Oh, that's the difference. He's a creator.
A gamer or common viewer or fan of gaming like you are.
How many rants has this guy went on saying, I'm just like you. I'm like you, the common gamer? How many rants? How many rants that he has said this? And he can't like read news like everyone else. Like you have to be a nobody to like read Giant Bomb or whatever. Like, this is like the most stupid fucking excuse I've ever heard about. Like, he could just say, I never really like read Giant Bomb. Like, sure, that's not like a hot take to say. I have no opinion on Giant Bomb. I do think it's fucked up what's going on. I mean, the fact that, like, dude, he read that they pocketed their money. You don't think that's bad? You don't think that's bad for any company? Like, if any company was pocketing money and not giving to their employees or to whomever that deserved that money, you don't think that's bad? Because you have I need to have vested interest to have an opinion of that's bad. Like, what are we talking about?
Okay, I've been inside of all of this, and as someone who's been covering games and everything for the last 15 to 18 years, I see things differently. I literally never went out of my way to read an article on Polygon unless it was linked to me and it was something.
So you do read art, like, dude, it has nothing to do with being a creator. You use that as a fucking excuse. what's my excuse? I have not read a lot of articles from Polygon because I just don't give a fuck. I have not been reading a lot of articles. I now starting to read a little bit more, but it's like I would much rather read like manga or whatever. I don't really read a lot of articles sometimes because it's like, I don't really care because a lot of times what I'm starting to like not like a lot of is I would go to a website and then it would just stop the article and then say please subscribe. Like, I understand why they would want that in a lot of places, but it's like I don't want to spend money to read articles. Like, I just want to read an article. I mean, that may not be true. That's obviously not true, but they have just a lot of pop-ups, and it's like I just don't want to deal with it. I'm just not gonna like read or participate in that on that website unless there's an article that really makes me curious. But whatever.
Something pertinent that I needed to cover for like a
But
show.
this is like, you don't need to come up with like an excuse to be like, oh, I don't read articles because I'm Greek. Like, I'll just say, yeah, I don't really read a lot of Polygon. But I can also have the opinion that I do think I do feel bad for these people who work there and are losing their jobs because I don't also believe that everyone at Polygon are all bad or they're all incompetent. I just think that there's just as much bad writers as there are good writers in Polygon. Like, it's not a hive mind. People can just dislike the publication enough to be like, I don't care about it, whatever. But I just don't think it's like, you know it's that complete because a lot of these articles are just opinion pieces. But whatever, okay, whatever.
I've literally never been to Giant Bomb. I've never seen a single video. I don't even know who that guy is. Right there. I've never seen him before. But it's just funny
I
'cause
love the I've not seen him before. Like he's on trial. I've not seen this guy, Your Honor. I've not seen him before. Like, okay, you don't need to know the guy's favorite color to like care. Again, I love that this dude read all this stuff that they're changing their website to be something that they don't want to do. They pocketed money from the people who work there, and this and that, and his takeaway immediately isn't, that is awful. That is bad. I can't believe that this company bought Giant Bomb and is doing this, and the company that bought them has no knowledge of the gaming landscape. The thing DSP pretends to care about when he's complaining about CEOs. A company bought Giant Bomb and asked, did Grand Theft Auto have a large player base? And DSP's takeaway is, I don't know what Giant Bomb is, man. Not, wow, like, I can't believe a company that's ignorant to games bought Giant Bomb, a thing about video games, and is making them to do, like, game guides, and pocketed money from them, and has zero care as to what Giant Bomb was about in the first place. He doesn't care about that. But meanwhile, he always cries about, guys, YouTube, man, they're silencing the little guy, the people who are passionate about video games, and this and that. But when this is actually happening to Giant Bomb, I don't know what that is. Wow, you really care about people who are passionate about video games, and it shows right now.
so many of you were like, oh my God, Giant Bomb, and I like that site, and I like the people there, and I like the content. I don't know anything about them. I can't say a negative word because I've never seen it.
Why does he need to say a negative word? What is this argument? What is it? What is he reporting? What is this reporting? I can't say anything negative about, like, in this situation, Giant Bomb is a victim, by the way. If you just look at what the guy he read was saying, Giant Bomb is clearly the victim in this transaction because people are leaving. They were not getting paid throughout this endeavor. And the guy who's doing it has no idea of video games. And he's saying, I can't say anything negative about this. You can't say anything like, is he saying he can't say anything negative about Giant Bomb, or he can't say anything negative about fandom? DSP, I don't need to be a scholar in Giant Bomb to say it's bad what's going down on Giant Bomb, because literally, when you read what's going on with Giant Bomb, it doesn't seem pretty good. Like, instead of these companies or these outlets being bought up by a company that understands gaming and is like, oh, we're gonna try to steer this back into being journalistic integrity, and we're gonna like pump out game news. They are literally saying, we don't know what games are. What is Grand Theft Auto? Make game guides. Like, this is what's going on with games media. It's being bought up by people who do not care about the game industry. And people are like upset with Polygon and Giant. I guess people are upset at Giant Bomb. They call them activists, I guess. But it's like, to a degree, even as much as you dislike these companies, you could probably make an argument that at some level they care more about video games than the companies that bought them out. Like, that's what's going on. That's like the bigger picture of the dystopian future that this is going to lead into, is that these publications are not going to exist the same way, and they're just going to make game guides, and we're going to be left with YouTubers and influencers to give us game news.
Any of it, right? But the way my take is as follows.
Amazing podcast.
This has been
now
quite the ride. The last 15 plus years that I've been a YouTuber.
Quite the ride.
I've seen people come in and go out. I've seen people.
Oh my god! And now we're bragging how he gets to see the architect change. Wow, I got to see people come and go. People were saying that for years. People said that in the entertainment industry and this and that. But like, the lack of like, this dude has no care. That's why I get annoyed a lot when he talks about these when he was talking about crunch culture a lot 2 years ago or whatever the fuck, and all this stuff. He doesn't care. It's all performative. This and I feel maybe he's doing this to beat the allegations of him not being genuine and caring about about this. But what does that also say about him? That, well, if they're gonna think that I'm being fake by caring, I'm just gonna not care about them at all. It doesn't like speak well to the kind of person he is, because it shows that he cares more about how people perceive him than what he actually believes. But it's such nonsense that he's taking the time to brag about how he's seeing people coming and going, and not this kind of thinking a little bit in the back of his head, hey, it's not like that these publications are being bought up by gamers and they're now making articles about games again or whatever the fuck, but instead they're being like gutted and like restricted to something that they oppose to doing, or that they have abused these workers, like the fucking fandom people, right? But whatever, okay.
Who weren't even involved in games decide one day that because games were profitable, they were going to be gaming content creators. And now all of a sudden, overnight, they're covering E3. They're being flown out to.
But this is like, this is like not comparable. It's just not comparable, because these are journalists, like gaming journalists, whatever. Like, they've played games to a degree, I guess, whatever. But to compare this to like to YouTubers, like I just seen that picked up a controller to play a game, like that isn't like, you don't need to be qualified to pick up a controller. Like, video games are made for everyone. Like, anyone could buy a video game console today and play it today. So it's kind of like silly to get butthurt about, oh my god, guys, I just seen it's not a gamer, she played a video game on YouTube before. Like, okay, oh, Toby Turner's not a gamer, now he has a gaming channel. Okay, but why can't they be a gamer? Why can't they play a video game? Maybe that's fun. Like, I love that he kind of like defends Conan's bit of Conan O'Brien playing video games and he's not a gamer at all. That's okay, but if anyone else tries to do that, they try to make a gaming YouTube channel, maybe in the same vein as the Conan bit, that's bad and terrible, and we should gatekeep those people. But it's okay if Conan O'Brien can do it. Why? Shouldn't we gatekeep Conan O'Brien? Sorry, Conan, you can't play fucking Metal Gear. Get out of here.
Out to events, they're getting consoles ahead of time and shit like that. For me, I want as many people in games.
But this is like not, again, this is not the same. And again, he's like, what's his logic that these people aren't gamers? Because people on Twitter said that they're not gamers. Like, and just that sentence alone, it sounds silly, right? Again, the only reason why it's relevant in the realm of DSP is you listen to DSP's podcast, and it's just like these people have talked more about games than DSP has ever done in his entire life. I'm sorry to say it, but these like the guy who sucked at Cuphead and couldn't get past the tutorial is more of a gamer than DSP ever is. He at least like kept trying and wasn't like raging, at least from what I remember. He just kept dying at the tutorial and he barreled on through. DSP just, I mean, he doesn't know how to use a ration. I mean, and the game tells you how to use it. Like, I don't know how to explain it. I mean, the guy in the tutorial sucked at it too, but he at least like engaged with the game and like moved on, and probably felt dumb in retrospect over and got better over time. DSP would probably just sit there and say this game is terribly designed. Like did the guy who failed at Cuphead, did he make an article saying Cuphead was a poorly designed game? Or was he just like, oh, the game is hard, which, you know, it is a hard game, so he's not exactly wrong. He's just silly in how he got to the conclusion. But he still wouldn't be off base, because even if you could pass the tutorial, he would probably die a lot anyway. Anyways, so it would still be true that it's a hard game. But DSP would struggle at a tutorial and then say the game is poorly designed. I mean, again, the Cuphead guy is more of a gamer than DSP ever will be in his entire life, and DSP played games for how long now?
And game content creation as humanly possible who are actual gamers. Okay? From what I can from what I can understand, Polygon, sadly, in the last decade changed. At one point, they were a bunch of gamers, and they wanted to do gaming journalism for the sake of actually being not corporate. But over the last decade, they changed to just be politics.
But how does he
push
know
left-wing
that?
agendas, politics, and do rabble-rousing. That's our...
But how does he know that they intentionally brought up left-wing politics to rabble rouse? And I mean, sure, like literally the hottest Disney characters, or whatever the fuck that article was, is literally clickbait. But how does he know everyone there is all of the same hive mind? I mean, how can he say that? Did he read all of the articles that everyone posted on Polygon? No. A lot of people who criticize Polygon criticize the quality of the articles that they have read or at least seen, and said that this is not a good article. And that's they may not agree with a lot of like the articles. That's on them. I mean, that's just their opinion. I just think that to write them off as, well, they're not gamers, is kind of like, well, how do you know? I mean, a lot of gamers can have dumb takes. I mean, look at DSP, he's one of them. Like, anyone could be a gamer and then say some dumb shit. Like, okay.
That's our clickbait articles. That's our business, okay? I don't think... Excuse me, I touched the mute by accident. I don't think Giant Bomb was that at all. I think the reason that a lot of people say that Giant Bomb resonated with them is because the people that worked there actually felt like real gamers, people who actually had passion for the industry.
Why? Because you don't recognize the number. Like he doesn't recognize Giant Bomb, so they must be gamers. Polygon is a bigger company, so they can't be gamers. But Giant Bomb, since they're so small, I don't care to read. They must be gamers, and they have a general positive outlook. They must be gamers. Wow, okay.
Someone who's like you actually is talking about games, and that's a very different thing, correct?
But how does he know that? He doesn't read. He has not read anything from Giant Bomb. What is his, like, proof of this? But whatever. I mean, I have, like, maybe read a few things from Giant Bomb, but this was, like, years and years and years and years ago. And I feel like I'm more well-versed about Giant Bomb than DSP is, just sheer comparatively.
But I hate to say it, sadly, it seems like games journalism is on the way out. And here's what I mean by this. The last 15 years have seen the rise of influencers, okay? An influencer is someone who is very popular on the internet. It doesn't matter if they actually know what the hell they're talking about or not, but because they have such a following, right, they now are allowed to get access to everything early, get exclusive coverage of games, game consoles, E3 and other events, all this stuff, right? They're the ones who are like the golden selected group.
I just love like these rants about the golden few or the chosen few. He always kind of gave like publications a little exception, very little. Like, oh, they can do it because they needed to get reviews put out, whatever, blah blah blah. But he always criticizes influencers. Not once has he said that with these places closing, we're gonna see a lot of like these influencers take rise, or we get shilled to even more. Like people in his chat were saying so long shills, suffer shills with Polygon, but all that's left to cover games and to spread awareness is influencers who are probably the biggest shills you can get. That's comparatively with YouTubers. You could find a YouTuber that's like a little bit more like unbiased and this that, but you're gonna have to like really like uh trust whoever you're watching, right? Like, would anyone consider Video Game Donkey to be a legitimate YouTuber to follow and to listen to? I mean, he barely does even reviews now, which is whatever.
Group. And the funny part about those people is they're huge, but I don't even know who the fuck they are. I've been around for 15, 16, 17 years. And if you ask me who's this influencer, I don't fucking know.
Yeah, but you don't participate. I don't know any of these influencers either. But I'm not gonna sit there and be like, oh well, I haven't been around. It's like you don't have to participate in this stuff.
I don't even know how they got a rise or how they even have popularity because they kind of came out of nowhere. Isn't that funny? How all of a sudden someone is a golden child of gameplay content creation and they get everything out of nowhere.
It's not out of nowhere. Like they do a stream and they find success, and it's funny that with all these other people, it's out of nowhere, out of nowhere. Oh, it's so random. But with DSP, it's luck and skill. He doesn't like understand that it could just be the same kind of thing with them, that it's luck and skill. They know how to use the algorithm. They understand how to keep up with trends, or they find things to do stuff. I mean, that's like half the reason why you see people on Twitter who are just engaging in rage bait bullshit, where it's like, oh yeah, like this or that or whatever. Like it's the same thing that even artists have talked about before, where it's like they try to catch up on a trend to do fan art for, and they've been saying like this is kind of like in a way crunch, because you have to like do a lot of art very fast to keep up, and it's an ongoing issue. But with videos, there's some leeway where you can kind of just like film something very quickly if you're an influencer and you're just talking, then you can upload it, whatever. Like there's all these other things. He just doesn't understand it because he doesn't have to do it. Like I don't know. Maybe you should watch a documentary about TikTokers. I don't know.
And now like overnight they become popular. Isn't that weird? But I think what's actually happened is, in general, game developers, game publishers, the big AAA companies are thinking that their strategy needs to be different. We don't need to give exclusive access to our games to Polygon or Giant Bomb or Kotaku or anything. What we need to do is now we need to have the influencers be the ones who are going to have that access, because when an influencer makes a video or a stream, they get more clout and attention and actually can push more game products selling than anyone covering this stuff on a journalistic website. And I think it's just times are a-changing.
But I like he says this as just as a purely product and all this other stuff. But journalism is not necessarily a product. It's literally just people who are just writing opinions and opinion pieces on a website or a newspaper or whatever, to just share a point of view. And you can either read it and engage with it and agree, disagree with it, whatever, or ignore it altogether. Like, that's all journalism is. To say that, well, how can they compete with influencers? They're not in the same category, because, again, journalism is more about just sharing ideas and to speak up about something that you want to like convey or whatever. That's all it is. Like, again, you could get kind of compare to what DSP views his podcast as half the time.
Okay, I've been saying for the very longest time that the days of these gaming news websites has passed. Why do we need to have a gaming site get access to a game 2 months early so they can play it and do an exclusive early review?
Because so people can get an idea of what the game is. Like that's why they got early access. Because there's also a lot of other games coming out in like similar days, and they may want to review more than just AAA games as well. Like there's a lot of reasons for that being the case, and they want to make sure people know what to buy or what to get day one or before day one or whatever the fuck. Like that's why they have this access. I love that he has fans that were in the games media industry that have walked him through why they did it, and he didn't care. He doesn't care.
View. W- The reason that used to happen a long time ago
He
is
loves
because
this
everything was in print.
fucking
You had a
print.
print magazine.
He loves this in print magazine bullshit, but that's not even like I would argue that's not even true. Like I don't. I mean, I feel like a lot of reviews would happen a month in a review in the issue a month later, or a month after the game reviewed or what released or whatever. But still, regardless, there's other reasons why they play games early. But okay, whatever.
Right? And so, in order to actually write that review early, they needed to have time to play through a game and then actually write the review, print the physical magazine, and ship it to stores all before the game released. That's why advanced copies were given out. Today, there's literally no reason for it. It doesn't need to exist because the day a game.
But why? Because if they buy the games day one to review it, they're not gonna get the same click because by the time they beat the game, the that window of like clickability and engagement is gonna be gone. Like, like, and oh my god, dude, he says this. Meanwhile, if you tell him, "Hey Phil, are you gonna play Metaphor?" And he'll tell you, it's a little too old. It's too late. I can't play Metaphor. Nobody will care about it right now. But he's saying that reviewers should be able to buy the game and then like do a review like weeks after the game launched. And then if they did that, I guarantee you, DSP would then say that these people rushed through the game. Like, you can never really win with DSP on this, and it's bullshit. But then when it comes to him, well, I can't play this game, it's too old. It's irrelevant right now. Get out of here.
A game comes out, everyone can live stream it, share their experiences and their opinions with the world. And so the era of games journalism, in my opinion, is coming to a close. It may be sad for those of us who've been around long enough to see that games journalism was valid, had a place in the whole landscape of game content creation. It's sad to see this happening all at once, but I feel like the writing was on the wall for a very long time. When events like E3 went away,
But guess
so
what? It's coming
too
back.
will these sites and places
He
that used to cover
literally covered a story that said E3 is coming back, or whatever the fuck it was. And now it's gone. It's never coming back. I swear he talked about E3 coming back in some form. But even then, it still is kind of back. He called fucking Summer Game Fest the new E3, which is a game show. And guess what these events get? Media coverage. Whatever.
to cover E3 and be the essential ones you needed to go to for that information. Now, every game developer is putting out their games for digital events.
Not all game developers, but okay, sure, buddy.
Right? Sony State of Play, Xbox Showcase.
He hated Nintendo for doing this, and all this other stuff. Go back and watch just how much he hated Nintendo for doing this, and now it's so cool and amazing. I mean, arguably, I do like this a little bit more than the E3 stuff. The only thing I liked about the E3 stuff was the cringe stage performance. I honestly feel I'm always at odds with my viewers when I stream this sometimes, but I truly love the level of cringe that some of this have. Like, going back to some of these old Sony press conferences and them trying to hype up PlayStation Home was so funny to me. And it's like, honestly, I would much rather have this than like Jeff Keighley, like, okay, guys, this is gonna be the game that's gonna change the world. And then it's like it's whatever, whatever. There are sometimes that it can be funny on Summer Game Fest, but the press conference stuff was a unique time that we just are not gonna get back. I mean, I still think about that one time where Microsoft dedicated like their whole show to talk about Monk on Netflix. And it's so interesting to me. There was an age. Oh, this was like kind of during the PS3 360 into the PS4 era where media had such a grip on these conferences where they were sitting there talking about, guys, we got Netflix. You can load up Netflix. You don't have to use the disc. You can download it. And everyone was losing their shit. Guys, you can buy movies. Guys, we're adding a video store. And I remember that being a huge thing. But like, and you're just not gonna get that. You're just not getting that anymore.
Showcase, Nintendo Treehouse event, and every other company doing their own. It's just immediately on the internet. We don't need E3, and we don't need journalists going there in person to cover it. So what purpose do they serve?
They serve for them to air their own opinions, though. Like I love how he says, "Well, these other people get voice opinions, so why do we need game journalists?" Well, what? So, I guess the idea would be that they should also become YouTubers and flood the market with more fucking, and they would actually have a degree of an unfair advantage if you think about it. Like, but whatever. Okay.
And if everyone is getting these games and can immediately be putting out coverage of them with a stream or a video, then we don't need official journalists anymore to cover video games. It's not like we need the guys from Polygon and Giant Bomb to go to a war zone to cover what's going on in the Middle East. It's just playing games, man. It's not that big of a deal. It's not that serious, right?
But it's still
we will
a
always
business.
need real.
It's still a career that people like are being displaced from, and what are they supposed to do? Like he's saying all this stuff, but then it's like, okay, so what's your solution? What should these people do who lost their job? Like these things can coexist, and DSP just act as if it can't, as if it's untenable for this to happen. I mean, I don't know, but whatever.
Real life journalists to cover things that we cannot be there in person for. But if it's just simply playing a video game, which is a digital experience, anyone can do it. And you already have your favorite.
But this really shines the biggest issue with DSP's career and his career security in a sense. Because if anyone can do it, then why do we need DSP? Why do we need DSP to play games? Why do we need DSP to do a podcast? Why do we need him to do a variety stream? What, like, this train of thought can be applied to just anything. Anyone that has a vested interest of dismantling something, they'll just say, we don't need this. Why do we need this? We don't need that. But, like, DSP's career is way more superficial and unimportant than Polygon, just comparatively speaking, because, again, you could find an article on Polygon that you may actually find interesting and engaging, more so than a DSP stream.
Favorite content creators and people who are making content, so you don't need the official outlets to get that information anymore. So what's happening here, in my opinion, is the beginning of what's going to be an avalanche.
Like, he doesn't understand this career at all. He thinks that it's all about covering games. Like, yes, if you're looking up at Polygon exclusively to cover video games, then sure, it is it is doomed to fail. It was doomed to fail at the beginning if that's all they were supposed to do. But they're a publication. They can have editorials, opinion pieces, all these other things. That's why you have articles that are not covering games. That's why you have articles about D&D and all this other stuff, because this isn't necessarily exclusive to covering game releases. They're also talking about other editorial, because that is the career. That when you read a newspaper or any other website that deals with the news, you're gonna notice that not everything there is about covering the news. Some of it is editorials or opinion pieces as to what they think and their opinion on something that's going on. Like you can find a lot of silly opinion pieces, because a lot of times these places, I feel, use these opinion pieces to kind of break up some of the heavy news, so you're not constantly bombarded with like negative, depressing things that you may not want to like read all the time.
First, you're seeing the more independent companies, Polygon, Giant Bomb. They can't survive anymore, so they get bought out. And once they get bought out, they get closed down because the big company that bought them realized they're not making any money. They're not.
Again, this happened with Kotaku, and he's not talking about it here for some reason. I mean, you'd think it'd be a apt thing to prove his point, but he kind of like, because he's gonna say, because if, let's say, 2 years from now, I'll be generous, say 2 years from now, uh, another company gets bought out, and everyone's like upset about it, like they are with this or whatever. He's gonna say, "Well, guys, it's the apocalypse. It's happening." It's like, okay, yeah, this is totally not being dramatic, right?
They're not getting any attention anymore. So convert them.
And I
Turn them
love that. Like I've seen people talk about this, and I've seen people like say like, "Oh, this is like kind of depressing because you're gonna be losing outlets to game media or entertainment news outlets moving forward, and we're gonna be seeing more AI slop." Like it's nobody's ever happy to see people lose their jobs to begin with, because like, people should be able to get paid doing what they want to do, right? Correct. But uh he is the only one that's saying this is happening and it's actually a good thing, and and deal with it kind of attitude. And it's like, yeah, nobody is thinking that nobody's gonna move on from this, right? Like exactly as if like we're gonna be talking about this like every day until the end of time. But it's like, whatever. Okay.
them into something profitable. Gut them out. I'm not saying this is a good thing. I'm just saying I see this is what's going to happen. This is the beginning. This is the tip of the iceberg.
I love how he thinks this is a big brain take, that this is gonna happen. Yeah, of course, it's been happening to in any industry. It happened to his fucking his helicopter job. They got, he told us that they got merged or whatever the fuck, and then they moved him to a different department and then said, "Oh well, we actually don't need you. Bye." And I love that in the article, he's just like, "Yeah, it's very easy to lay people off when they don't know you." I mean, sure, that is the case, but that always happens with mergers anyway, and it's just it's so silly. This dude is a clown.
Iceberg. We're going to see more and more of these businesses, these more indie places go away. And then guess what's going to happen next? The big boys.
The big
the
boys.
IGNs, the
Wow,
GameSpots. Because
okay.
again, why do we need them? Can you tell me, literally,
Who owns them? Like, look at what's going on with these publications that are smaller, like Polygon and Giant Bomb. These were easier to purchase and buy, and then like shut down and gut. If GameSpot and IGN are as big as DSP says they are, how would that happen to them? They would have to be like devalued to the point where a random company will say, "Let's buy that." But okay.
one reason why you need to
And
go.
again, we're just willfully ignoring that the company that bought Giant Bomb has no interest in gaming, like at all. He keeps saying that Fandom bought Giant Bomb and said, "Well, you're not really giving us any income, so we're just going to shut you down." Is that why they pocketed all of their subs and didn't pay them, because they were making no money? No, they just didn't care. They literally asked, "What is Grand Theft Auto?" And he's acting as if the people who bought Giant Bomb had a vested interest in gaming and understood that there's no money to be made. No, these people bought Giant Bomb, had no opinion as to what the fuck gaming is, didn't care, just cared about money, and it was like, well, it's more profitable to make game guides than do whatever the fuck these people are doing, because who cares? And that's what happened. With Polygon, Valorant, from what I'm to understand, is a very, like, I don't remember if it's an adult magazine company or whatever the fuck, like, I don't know. I did hear that they kind of abuse and exploit their workers as well, so it's not like they're not a positive entity, but they're irrelevant to gaming and entertainment industry altogether, it seems. So it's like, of course they're gonna not give a fuck about Polygon, because they don't care. Like, these companies that buy these other companies just don't know what games are, and they don't care, because for a long while, like, I think this is why I'm starting to see this revitalization of the debate of like if gaming is art, because to some degree there is still this attitude that gaming is a lesser medium, and we should not be taking it seriously, which I mean, it kind of is a very one-sided argument because I think that video games can be many things. It could be art, it cannot be art. It can be a lot of things. It's a very interactive medium. It's not just one thing. And I think this putting into a box of it being only art or oh it's just a toy, who cares? Like you're not gonna really like both parties are not gonna really handle the medium with respect because sure I would probably argue and I may be biased on this that people who view games as art probably would respect the medium more so than people who view them as just toys because if you started seeing them as just toys, you're not going to give a fuck about the value of the game that you're releasing, the quality that the previous games had, uh, the fan base, or anything. You're just going to see a dollar sign and that's it. And then, or you could close it and say, well, this is a toy. Who fucking cares? Why should we preserve this? It's a fucking toy. Get the new toy. Like, you know, that's like what it runs into. But whatever.
To go to IGN for anything today. Is there a single piece of exclusive content to be found on
I mean,
IGN?
sometimes if I want to know if anime lovers are gonna hate me, but I'm gonna say it. Sometimes I want to see if a dub got announced. I may go to like IGN, but I mostly go to like a general a general news hub usually. But whatever.
Again, that you must go to that website to see today? Or is all that content readily available everywhere else on the internet and they're just a hub and a place that you go to because you already knew they existed for so long? Legacy media,
Oh man,
right?
Oh,
Readily available everywhere else on the internet and they're just a hub. IGN that you must go to that website to see today? Or is all that content readily available everywhere else on the internet and they're just a hub and a place that you go to because you already knew they existed for so long? Legacy media, right?
But this is what DSP does. He goes to Legacy Media. He like why else did he not go to Giant Bomb, check them out like at all, and only read Polygon? Like Polygon is technically Legacy Media. when you compare it to Giant Bomb, like Polygon has a little bit more of like of an established name. So much that that DSP goes to Polygon, like enough for him to actually know that it exists and
Right.
have an opinion about it.
Essentially, games journalism is going to become like what terrestrial old school
Terrestrial? Who the fuck says this?
essentially games journalism is going to become like what terrestrial old school radio was.
Terrestrial? Isn't terrestrial fucking alien? Isn't that what they call aliens? Like, oh, they're terrestrial life forms. I don't fucking know. But this comparison is really stupid because literally Polygon is directly comparable to, you guessed it, fucking newspapers, magazines, like all this stuff. It's an online like publication. Like that's all it's comparative to. And it's not that different from like Twitter, but I would much rather like read articles than read fucking random tweets from random people like fucking whatever, right? Whatever.
Right? It still exists. But quite frankly, there's no reason for it to exist. Technology and the times have passed by all of this.
How? They still use the internet, Phil. It still gets published on the same internet that everything else gets published. What separates a fucking tweet from fucking Polygon is literally Polygon can write a whole ass article and not be tied down to whatever limitation Twitter has. Like that's all it is. It's just another venue for them to express themselves in an official capacity because anyone can make a tweet and not be paid for it. This is just a career. Like, I mean, it's not that hard to comprehend why these places exist.
But for some odd reason, just because it's always been around, it's still around.
It's really like there's a Twitter account, Newswire, that just says the news. Like they'll just tweet it out in like a little tweet, and this has been a dual edged sword. Because on one hand, it's like I do appreciate like the summary and I get to like just quickly know what's going on. But there are sometimes that thing tweets something out and it sounds so weird. It's like I need to read what this is. Like this, it's not linking anything, and it's like this is like a very insane thing just to go off on. And there was like I can't remember the exact instance, but there was one that just sounded insane, and I was glad I read it because I understood it better. And it's like this idea of like, well, since Twitter exists, why do these things exist? You can expand that to such dangerous levels of to like you could be easily swayed and be misinformed by just tweets because some tweets don't even post the links into what they're talking about sometimes. Like it's really ridiculous to argue that we don't need these sites anymore because Twitter exists or influencers exist when DSP has also complained that influencers and YouTubers are just as much shills as anyone else. So this is it's just pointless. It's a pointless thing, and to some degree, it might be arguably better to go with Polygon than fucking a random YouTuber because to some degree there is a standards that a lot of journalists may or may not use, I guess. But it's like you can at least find somebody you may trust by just reading their articles or just looking into them a little bit more. I mean, you can do that with YouTubers, but it may be a little bit harder because guess what? Twitter and like YouTube is going to be pushing forward more often. But whatever. Okay, let's move on.
Well, now we're seeing the places that aren't the biggest are going away. And that's the beginning. Again, if people who work in gaming journalism aren't seeing the writing on the wall with both Giant Bomb and Polygon basically imploding and falling apart in the last 24 to 48 hours, I don't know what else of a symbol you're looking for.
But this is kind of unfair from DSP because he's pretty much telling people that they should just give up. See, these people are failing. You should give up and stop doing your job now, which is like just a very unreasonable thing to say for starters. Secondly, you could say that about DSP during the adpocalypse. DSP, you saw a lot of YouTubers struggle to make money on YouTube and Twitch and all these other places. Shouldn't you take that as a writing on the wall and to stop streaming and to get a job? No, you keep going so you can brag about how you stuck around and how you really like outlasted everyone because you stuck to your guns. So all these other journalists that are still in the industry, they should look at Polygon and Giant Bomb and just give up now. I love that DSP wants everyone to be a defeatist except for him, so he can feel special, like a little special little snowflake. Oh, look, everyone closes around me except for me. But this dude is telling everyone that they should give up. This is like the fucking Switch 2 thing. Guys, don't bother going to Best Buy. Don't bother. You're not getting one. Don't bother. Don't you dare. Oh man, and this is quite the image.
Looking for. I don't, you know what I'm saying? This is like the bat signal on top of Gotham. Oh shit, there's trouble.
The bat
You know what I
signal?
mean? So
What do you mean?
now would be the time to be quite frankly, I think they need to get out of it because
Yeah,
it's
I
not
think DSP should get out of streaming. There's a lot of streamers that are not making a lot of money. There's a lot of like demonetization going around. He should just give up now.
going to be secure anymore. I feel like now it's going to be all about people go to their favorite creators, their favorite influencers to get this information. They're not going to be looking towards these sites anymore. And these sites are going to fall out of prominence. They're going to have less and less of attention and support and ad revenue to be had. And then they're going to just go out of business. Sad, but I think that's just where we're headed. And we've seen this for many years. And how people could have not seen it coming or denied it, I don't know. One of the weirdest things that's happened, Game Informer went out of business and they just came back. What were they thinking?
Yeah, how dare these people like offer jobs and like want to try something? They should just give up, right? They should be quitters. I love that DSP is always the first fucker to say you should do what you're passionate about. Do what you're passionate about. You should not like crumble under pressure to stop doing what you love to do. And then like Game Informer's like, yeah, we love making articles or whatever the fuck, and they want to offer a venue for people to make articles and do what they love doing, correct? but they should give up because Polygon went under and all those other places went under. Now, I also love that this dude also argued in the same video that that Polygon was doomed to fail anyway because Polygon made dumb articles. So then it's really quite irrelevant to if that's the main reason. But I guess he's saying this under the guise of Giant Bomb. But again, he doesn't care about Giant Bomb because he read what's going on, didn't understand that the people who bought Giant Bomb had no interest in keeping them around. They were probably always going to intend to gut them anyway because they don't care. I mean, they did not pay them the money that they owed, correct? I mean, come on.
I hate to tell you, Game Informer, not to say that they're not quality, because I think they always were. The industry is imploding. Why would you try to come back? Right? I don't get it.
Yeah, give up now. Why try?
I don't know how you're
But
going to
then
survive.
will say, it's such a shame. Nobody tries. Nobody like wants to be unique. No one wants to be like me and stay the course. Oh, Game Informer announced that they're gonna come back and they're gonna save the course. What a bunch of idiots! They should give up. Why go on these rants saying how you want people to stick what they love and do what they love doing and all this other stuff if you're just gonna say they should give up? Okay, man.
It's already so cutthroat, dog eat dog, and now you're trying to bring it back. Like, I don't know about this. So anyway, it's just crazy. In 48 hours, 2 major gaming journalism.
It's just why, like, because like these closures, both Polygon and Giant Bomb, in a way has. I mean, I actually I don't know much about Polygon. Because as far as from what I'm to understand, again, like, you know, Valorant bought them. Valorant I don't think has any interest in giving a fuck about fucking video games. They're probably gonna retool them anyway. So both instances had a third party buy these companies or buy these publications or whatever the fuck you want to call them and change them into something that they don't want to do. Like, does that sound like that they're responding to the market and to what's going on around the world? No, it's just these people who have no interest in what they fucking bought, didn't care, and dismantled it. Like, that's the problem here. Like, it's kind of why I never quite understood that Apple bought Beats, the Beats headphones or whatever the fuck. Like, why did they buy them? Well, at the same time making their own headphones and making Beats headphones at the same time. Like, I don't quite get the point is, other than to probably get like a bigger revenue share. Like, oh, people will still buy Beats regardless, and we'll get it on the back end because we're gonna keep the name. I mean, I guess that's it. But how did the people who made Beats feel about that purchase? Did they love it? Were they happy with it, or were they just like, well, this is just another story of a big company buying the little guy? I don't know. Like, this happened
businesses
years
have
ago.
fallen apart, and it seems like this is the beginning of that movement. Like I said, the avalanche is happening, and we might see more and more of this happening very soon. And I predict that if it continues, you're going to see it not just affect the little guys, but the big guys too. Again, I don't think that IGN and GameSpot,
really wants
I don't think they're immune at all.
He's not going to talk
I just think that because they've been around for so long and have corporate backing, that they feel safe. But I think what's going to happen is, as these companies start to realize it's just the influencers that are really getting us to sell games, not those sites anymore, they're going to go by the wayside. Okay, Dark Maggot, 47 months is a super
implying that Polygon made
says,
like,
man, I love Giant Bomb.
Like, he's acting as if like the main revenue for Polygon was game reviews. Like, they covered other stuff. Like, they have other means of making money. Again, the issue with it is not the market. It's that these people who bought them did not give a fuck about these fucking things they bought. Like, okay.
I still follow the original creators even today, and there you go. I hear that kind of stuff every day. Man,
yeah, but you don't care. He doesn't care. I hear about this every day. But you don't care to look into why people like Giant Bomb. You don't care though. Oh, okay, cool, man.
Giant Bomb, it's a shame what's happening, and I'm just like, I can't really speak to it because I, as a creator,
but I love. He says I can't really speak to it, but he says I can't speak anything negative. Again, I don't know. It's so vague. He could say it's about anything. Like, it's really annoying.
I've been so busy making the content myself, I don't seek out anyone else to see what was Giant Bomb all about, what was Polygon about.
This is such fucking bullshit, and it's annoying because when he does these stupid gaming news, guess where he goes? Fucking Twitter. And sometimes he goes to actual articles. But because imagine if Oreo64 happened to say, I'm gonna stop tweeting. I'm only gonna tweet deals from now on. Remember Nibel? Dude, oh my god. If Nibel if Nibel was still around, DSP would be the #1 fan to repost Nibel stuff. Like, DSP is, in a way, Nibel 2.0. Is it Nibel Nibble? I don't fucking remember this guy. It was the guy with I keep thinking it's the guy from One Punch, but I think it's Mob Psycho as his profile pic. But it's that guy. DSP is like the video version of that guy. Because I remember a lot of people like shout out this dude when this guy went away. It was so funny because for the longest time I've seen people like repost this guy, retweet this guy, say, "Oh yeah, look at this." But the moment he went away, yeah, this guy, he just reposted other people's work. This guy always sucked, and it's like, oh, now you say now you shot him when he goes away. But it was a funny thing that he went out on, because I think it was I don't remember what it was. I don't remember it wasn't the second term of Trump. That was way too recent. I want to say it was like the first term during. It wasn't during the first term, but there was something that happened that kind of sprang forth his resignation to. No, it was when Elon bought Twitter. That's what it was. Oh my god, jeez. The moment that Elon got Twitter, a lot of things happened in this transition process.
What's Kotaku about? How's IGN doing? How's GameSpot doing?
You already know what
I don't
Kotaku's
care.
up to.
I myself buy every game, cover every game. You know, I'm doing it.
But you
for my
talk
own,
about
so
these articles. This is such bullshit. He avoids games based on reviews. Like, he's always been pressed on this, and he always says the same thing. Well, I have to look at reviews sometimes to know what these games are doing, and I judge on a logical basis. Now, I don't, like, just do this or whatever the fuck. It's such nonsense. He does rely on these things. Because guess what? If he's left to YouTubers, he will have to honestly do way more work to understand something, because guess what? Not a lot of these people have the interest of the gamers in mind when they shit on a game. Like, if you shit on so many games that are so overblown, a lot of games get overly hated for literally petty reasons. And it's so big that these people just run with it sometimes. Like, come on.
I don't seek that kind of information from other places, but I know that people do. I know that many of you were fans of Giant Bomb, and it's very sad to see the business basically implode and go away. But man, I just feel like this is the beginning now. This is finally the bubble is burst, and it just can't support itself anymore. It's not sufficient, you know? Okay. I got a $2 tip. Someone says, back in 2020, Polygon did a full article. They called Sega a bunch of cowards because they never showed Sonic's feet. I wish I was joking.
You know what? I'm gonna look up this guy. I'm gonna look up this article. Let's go on an article run. Polygon Sonic feet. I'm scared to even like look for this. Why is Sega? Okay, I found the article. Let's go in. Let's go into this. This is investigative journalism, ladies and gentlemen. If Mario can surf barefoot, why can't Sonic? Unleash Sonic's feet, you cowards! Sega's gameplay trailer for Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games Tokyo 2020 was not necessarily one of the highlights of the E3 2019 Nintendo Direct presentation on Tuesday, but very early in the trailer, one thing did catch our eye: feet. Surfing is one of 4 sports making their Olympic debuts at the Tokyo Games in 2020, and it was showcased near the start of the trailer with footage of both Mario and Sonic catching waves. Notice anything different? Oh my god, nice big ad. Notice anything different about their surfing outfits? Hey, it's the feet. Mario is comfortable dipping his naked ass toes into the ocean, but Sonic seems to have no interest in removing his classic red and white sneakers before he gets on his surfboard. Now it makes sense that Mario and Sonic Mario and his corporate parent would let let the plumber's feet loose here. After all, Nintendo allowed shirtless, shoeless, sockless Mario to prance around on a beach in Super Mario Odyssey. Not so for Sega. Even when Sonic turned into a werehog in 2008's Sonic Unleashed, he didn't Hulk out his shoes. The sneakers just became cleats. However, Sonic's feet have shown up in the Archie Comics series and in multiple cartoons, including the 90s animated series Adventures. Dude, that is something DSP would say. I'm telling you right now. Oh my god. When was this posted? When was this published? June. Okay. I'm gonna say it. This is probably what they call satire. This is probably a joke article. This is not them being a guys, we're breaking new ground with this fucking article. Update: Sega has responded to Polygon's request for comment. According to veteran Sonic the Hedgehog game producer Takashi Izuka, Sonic doesn't take off his shoes in canon, which only leads to additional questions. I mean, they did reach out, but this I feel I would be willing to venture is a joke article, a satire, because no shit, this is not an important article. Nobody is seeing this article thinking, oh my god, I need to know, why don't we see his feet? I mean, it's clearly a joke article. These people don't understand humor. They make comedy legal. Come on.
Joking, but I'm not. That was a real article. Oh, that's what I mean. Like, Polygon seems to have just been clickbait for a very long time. No. I mean, that's pure clickbait. Who cares about Sonic's feet? But that's the kind of content they were putting out and acting like it was reputable journalism.
No, so. Where do they act as reputable? It's just an article about Sonic's feet. This is at a level of thinking about this article that they probably didn't think about. They're like, yeah, we're just gonna make an article about Sonic's feet. Like, why not? Why not?
Okay.
Whatever. Okay.
Thank you guys. Let's move on.
I love that, like, they can't make joke articles, but DSP can make jokes and be taken seriously at the same time. Why is that?
We have a lot of news to cover. Let's move on to the next story. Oh, by the way,
right.
Gamer Nerd
Gamer
the way to our goal.
Nerd
here on the show
is going to be locked
marathon this week.
Oh my god.
So
man, what is this motion? Yeah, you go, man.
Before the podcast ends, that means we would 100% be cool for the rest of the stream, and maybe even have a chance to double up because we need to get that momentum going to hit this marathon this week.
Yeah, get the momentum going.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Yeah.
Again, I'm eyeballing Kick. We have had no support on Kick yet this morning. It'll be great to get some Kick support. Okay?
Yeah,
all right,
the Kick support,
on to our
bitch.
next news story for today.
Step up. God, step it up. I would have said if I was Sega, I would have said his shoes is
Xbox / Microsoft, whatever you want to call them, are raising
you say Microsoft,
the prices.
Xbox is the brand
of everything. Okay? Just take a look. This was just
I love so it's very clear why these prices are going up. It is very clear it is the tariffs. I mean, obviously anyone could argue that Nintendo normalized about the other end at the other end, like, we do have tariffs and all these things are made in China and we have given them an insane tariff, so of course things are gonna go up naturally, correct? But this is silly coming from DSP because he just willfully ignores it. It's the same thing with the PlayStation price increase, where Sony openly stated is because of the exchange rates and they don't want to operate at a loss, that they're going to if they keep the prices the same. Like, okay, let's
just announced the other day, the Xbox Series S 512 gigabyte will now go up by $80 in price. The Series S 1 terabyte is going up ridiculous, another $80 in price. Xbox Series X digital only going up $100 in price.
Whoa.
Series X, which has the disk drive, going up $100 in price. The Series X 2 terabyte Galaxy Special Edition, going up $130 in
Whoa.
price.
Whoa,
The
buddy.
controller prices are increasing. Take a look. The
Take a
limited
look,
edition,
it's in a book.
the regular edition controllers are now going to be $70. I believe weren't they 60? I think they're 70. The funny part about this is they're sold at sale price all the time. I've never paid full price for an Xbox controller. I think that
Yeah, he buys it on Black Friday, but the thing is that this could also affect sales in the sense that they're not going to be as cheap as they were last year for these sales. Like, but okay.
the most I paid last time I got one was like $35. So you could get these on sale all the time.
Oh, I
So
don't believe
why
he got
they
that
think
for
raising the
35.
base
That is not true. There's no way he got a Xbox Series X controller for $30. That would be insane. Maybe he did. I don't remember it going that low. I don't know. Maybe it did. Whatever. Okay.
base price is a good idea makes no sense when already these things are sold on discount. But anyway, as you can see, they've raised the prices of
But
all the controllers
again, they're raising. Okay, let's listen to this
all the time.
bullshit again.
So why they think raising the base price is a good idea makes no sense when already
It has nothing to do with being a good idea. It's literally more expensive to manufacture now because of the tariffs, and the volatile nature that we are in right now is why these prices are going up. Just plain and simple. That's
these
there
things
you
are
have
sold
it.
on discount. But anyway, as you can see,
But okay.
they've raised the
Yeah, they
prices of
thought it was
all
a
the
good idea.
controllers. The Elite went up by
Oh,
10.
I'm just gonna give you a warning. He has a very nasty, disgusting opinion about this. Like it is so dumb. Like it would have been a little bit more bearable if he just said, guys, they're only raising the prices because of Nintendo. Like that would have been a little bit more closer to the truth than what he ended up saying. Because what he said is insanely nasty and disgusting.
$10. The Elite, that's the full case with all the accessories, went up by $20. The headset went up by $10.
Okay, get
So
to the
here is
point.
the
Get to
statement
the point.
that Microsoft gave IGN about this. We understand that these changes are challenging and they were made with careful consideration, given market conditions and the rising cost of development. Looking ahead, we continue to focus on offering more ways to play more games across any screen, ensuring value for Xbox players. Okay, folks, I have something I have to say, and some people aren't going to like it, all right?
Yeah, here we go. Listen
Ready?
up. Ready?
You can raise the price
Uh-huh.
on your product when you are sought after as an industry leader.
This is nasty attitude, because that is way worse than the prices going up because of tariffs. By the way, I mean even based on Nintendo, because think of it like this. So this is so he is saying that you can now arbitrarily, just for fun, raise prices because if you're the leader. So at that point, DSP can't really say it's bad that Apple overcharges their products, because guys, they are the industry leader of Apple products. So they can charge $1,000 for a monitor stand. That is fine and cool and dandy because they're the industry leader. And who's to say that they don't view themselves as the industry leader? No company is gonna say there says, yeah, we're the industry loser. The only person that did that was Iwata, because he took the hit on the poor sales of the Wii U. But that's that. That's the only time that ever happened in history, as far as I remember, or as far as I know. But no company, Microsoft, Sony, modern Nintendo, they're not gonna openly state, yeah, guys, we're losing, we suck right now. Okay, we're gonna make everything cheaper. That's not how the world works. And if that's the case, let's say that Microsoft wants to make a new Xbox, but they're the industry loser right now. What? They can't make a better console then. They can't get better parts because they would have to increase the price. So they would have to either sell it at a loss, which is not a good idea because they'll just be out of business if if their previous unit didn't sell well at all, and then they can't raise the price, so they have to either sell at a loss and not make their money back and lose money that way, or just make the same console again and still not sell. That's not a solution to become the industry leader. And then to also to normalize or say that it's understandable for a company to raise prices if they're the industry winner, leader, whatever, is a terrible precedent. And no company, I hope no company thinks that way. Like I can stomach Apple because Apple is a very easy company to avoid for some people, but if more and more companies act this way, then we will definitely not be getting cheaper products anymore. There will definitely not be a cheaper alternative. It will just be straight up robbery and people just fucking increasing prices because they have a high opinion of themselves. I mean, it's a different landscape. Like, to bring it to artists, I say that artists should pay how much they view their value is worth. I can understand that artists may have like high commission prices because they say, "Hey, I do need to make a living, and this, whatever, pay this much." I can understand that, but I do also think that artists should also be open to have any price point that they feel is fair. They should not be beholden to be forced into charging their art to be high, but they should also not undercharge their art. Like, if you're an artist, do not charge like $5 to do a commission. Like, don't do that. You can do that for like a sketch or like a simple black and white drawing, whatever. But if you're gonna do like a full ass painting or a portrait, color and all, $5, you're just scamming yourself. So like that's one thing. But to say that if you're the industry leader, it's okay to raise your price arbitrarily, fuck you. And to say that that's a good practice, find a bridge. Like, go, like this dude goes far beyond licking a boot. He'd suck it down his entire mouth if he wanted to, and then ask them if they want to like have special time.
And people see you as the premium experience. For example, recently Sony announced they were raising the price of their PlayStation 5 and PlayStation.
But they're not raising those prices because they see themselves as the industry leader. It was literally because of the exchange rates that's going on, because of things how things are manufactured, all this stuff. This is stuff that DSP clearly doesn't understand. He doesn't want to talk about because he probably is afraid of sounding ignorant. Like I'm sure I sound ignorant when I bring up tariffs and this and that, but at least from what I am to see from people talk about it and see what has gone on with all these prices, it does stand to reason that tariffs do cause prices to increase. The only thing I think is debatable is the intention of why these tariffs are happening. Some people are saying it's because Trump wants to make all these factories open up here, but this is a whole loaded thing that I'm not gonna address in this video because we're talking about fucking prices. But that's all tariffs are doing. They're just increasing the prices. And DSP is sitting there saying that, well, Sony increased these prices because they see themselves as a valuable company. If that is the case, why don't they increase their prices around the world? Why didn't they increase the price of the PS4? They were the industry leader in during the PS4's life cycle. Why didn't that increase the price? Why didn't they do that? Why did the price go down for that? It's nonsense. This is a bullshit thing. This is an Apple fucking talking point. Like, if Apple came out, if Tim Apple came out on stage and said, yeah, if it was asked, why did you charge $1,000 for a monitor stand? This is the answer I'd expect from him. Yeah, we just see ourselves as the industry leader of everything. And I would be like, yeah, that makes sense. It tracks for Apple. But if, like, fucking any other company would say this, dude, they would be seen as clowns. But of course, I mean, obviously all these companies feel that way, but imagine if Sony said when the PS3 was $599 right? If they just said, well, we're the premium experience, but why do they have to lower the price then? Shouldn't they have kept the $600 price tag? This makes no sense. This is a very arbitrary reason for why prices increase, and it's not believable.
And PlayStation 5 Pro consoles, correct? They said we're going to.
It is insane. The attitude of that oh, this is just potential spam. They can like fucking fuck off. Fuck right off. I mean, they can talk to my voicemail. I don't know who that is. I'm busy. I'm busy right now. And if anyone says, "Oh, you should unplug your phone and this and that," look, it's my cell phone, and my cell phone is my camera. I'm using it right now.
We're going to raise them because why? They are the definitive console experience.
But yeah,
this
is like such bullshit. Oh my god, I forgot what I was gonna say. There was something I wanted to bring up. Whatever. Well, it's gonna bother me a little bit, but it's not that important. Oh my god. Whatever.
To get the absolute best graphics and the Sony exclusives, you need a PlayStation 5.
Oh, I remember. So usually the attitude of like these companies or people in power or whatever who talk to the audience as if they're stupid by saying this, like when they say shit like this, they think you're so stupid you'd eat it up like sheep. But here's the thing: DSP is not Sony. He's not a CEO. He has no vested interest in talking like this, and yet he's talking as if he has vested interest in these companies to say that they have the premium experience. DSP, you are not on the Sony payroll. You don't need to explain to us that PlayStation is the premium experience, because they're fucking not. It's a fucking game console, my guy. And you're saying, oh yeah, Sony's the premium console. That's why their prices are so expensive, dude. How dumb do you think we are? Like, the actual company literally said it was because of exchange rates. They could have actually said this and it would have been seen as a lie. I'm more willing to believe Sony about the fucking exchange rates, because exchange rates are a real tangible thing that you can actually like look into. This is such a nonsense abstract point, is that the only way you would say this is if you think the audience is stupid. And the only person that openly thinks their audience is stupid is DSP. The only person that I have watched who actually think that the people that they're talking to is dumb is him.
So if they raise the price, it's kind of like, well, I'm paying for the best experience. I guess I have to accept it. Okay?
Now where is this at? Now, okay, see, this is the thing, right? When Nintendo raised the price for Tears of the Kingdom, when that went up in price, DSP shat on Nintendo. Oh, they think they could do this, but Nintendo thinks that they give you valued experiences and quality and blah blah blah. It's Nintendo, right? And he's like, oh, how dare they do this? What a bunch of fucking idiots! It's clearly they're doing it out of greed. But now that we're dunking on Microsoft, since Microsoft is on the dunk tank, okay, yeah, it's okay for companies that artificially raise their price if they feel that they have the quality experience. So now it's okay for companies to arbitrarily increase their prices. But when Nintendo did for Zelda, that was bad and evil and stupid. But now it's okay. Why? Oh, but see, it's because everyone's shitting on Microsoft for doing this. So it's okay to shut them in any meaningful way. Meanwhile, what people have actually said about this is two things: either blame Nintendo or say it's because of tariffs. It's really just one of those two things all the time on any platform you go to. But DSP is the only one to go out of his way to invent other narratives that just didn't happen. Sony never said, yeah, we're raising the prices because we're the premium experience. They literally explained why they raised their prices.
Nintendo. Everyone knows Nintendo's gaming experiences are pretty exclusive, right? First party Nintendo games.
Oh, now Nintendo is exclusively good and fun and all this stuff, but Zelda Tears of the Kingdom going up in price? Fuck you, Nintendo. And this dude I'm pretty sure has shat on the fucking prices of the Pro Controller and all this stuff as well. He has complained about the price increase. He actually did that when they announced the Switch 2. They announced the price. It's like, oh, look how dumb Nintendo is. Now you gotta get this USD card, and because they have better hardware, now the hardware's expensive. But it's like, dude, you literally complained about this, and now you're saying that, well, Nintendo can do it because they give you a premier premium fucking experience. Also, you get shit on Microsoft. And again, this guy is bragging to us how he's way more professional. But this dude has gone back and forth on everything. He doesn't believe in anything he's saying. It's garbage.
Nintendo games are huge. Everyone knows that Mario Kart World's going to sell like gangbusters when it comes out at the
How do you
release
know
of the Switch 2.
How does he know it's going to sell? I mean, there's a good chance it will, but we don't know. Did the pre-order numbers come out? Like, because again, to say that, well, it's sold out, it's kind of hard to take for real about the pre-orders, because look how the PS5 handled the launch. Did that have a record sale? I don't know. I mean, maybe, but whatever. Okay.
In early June. That's how Nintendo rolls. So if Nintendo says, we're going to raise the price of games, and we're now going to charge $80 as a premium experience for games, gamers may cringe, but they accept it.
Now it's okay. See, back when Zelda Tears of the Kingdom went up in price, he literally yelled, saying, guys, Nintendo fans should stop enabling this behavior. Why are they enabling this stuff? But this attitude of saying that they're just gonna eat it, where was this when it came down to Nintendo fans criticizing Nintendo for whatever reason? Like, oh, the Switch OLED is not a Switch Plus. It should have been a Switch Pro or whatever the fuck, but they bought it anyway because they like the OLED screen. He yelled at them for buying it and criticizing the practice. But now we can exercise the criticism of Nintendo's raising the price and all this stuff, and buy the stuff. But just a year ago or 2 years ago, that's terrible and stupid, and that makes no sense. But again, the reasoning behind mocking Microsoft for increasing prices is so laughably out of touch. It is like he's from another planet. Like, this is another dimension of what's going on. Like, does he even read the news? Okay.
They say, well, I guess we just gotta kind of bite this bullet, because if we want to be part of that premium Nintendo exclusive experience, right, I guess we're gonna have to pay more. We don't even have a choice, right? Like, this is just something we have to accept. But Xbox, Microsoft, is massively trailing this console generation. They are by far behind in the number 3 spot. Okay. They are not selling or moving consoles at any kind of a very good rate.
How does he know the rate of them moving their consoles? Like, they have to manufacture these things, and people still buy their controllers because you can use that controller on anything. People can mod the controller, people can mod the Xbox, maybe that's why they're buying them too. Like, there's a lot of reasons why people buy stuff. And this dude is like saying, like, well, why are they increasing the prices? I mean, dude, like, they have to make up for the manufacturing costs that they're gonna have to go through. Like this is like just completely ignoring what is going on. Like, at this point, I'd much rather just listen to Apple explain to me why the monitor stand was so much.
The only thing they have going for them is Game Pass, which is a great value in my opinion. I mean, just take a look at all the games that I've played that were Game Pass games over the last several months and the great value I'm getting out of that service. But they're just not moving product at all. Okay, like I said, you can get Xbox controllers regularly at a big discount. Online, you could get one for $30-$40 tops.
Yeah, but these things will also be affected by the tariffs to some degree. I mean, like, Sony announced that they are stockpiling as much PlayStations and controllers and all this stuff as much as they can to weather the tariffs that are going to happen. And once that is depleted or whatever, that's when the prices are going to go up. So it's only a matter of time before Sony announces that they will also increase their price. So, okay, if Sony's going to announce a price increase for their PlayStation 6 or the remaining PS5s or whatever the fuck, is DSP, I better hear DSP say, guys, Sony's gonna is increasing the price because they are the premier premium experience. That's why they went up in price. I better hear that and not him bitch and moan because guys, they can do that. They're the industry leader, correct?
So let me ask you this question. If you are in a
Only 5 minutes until
situation where
oblivion.
you're the industry loser, you're behind all of your competition, do you think it's a good idea 4+ years into the life of your console to raise the fucking price of the console by 80 to 100
Oh
plus
man.
dollars? Does that make any
Okay, but do you know how much it costs to make these things now? Like, are you in the business room with them? Do you understand the logistics of like how these tariffs are impacting imports now? Like, dude, there's images of like the port in Washington being empty. Like, there's no ships coming in that frequently, if at all. But okay, whatever.
logical sense?
I will say that I keep hearing people like talk about we're gonna slowly start to see empty shelves again, and it's gonna be so exciting to hear DSP complain when he can't buy stuff on shelves anymore, because at least with COVID it made sense because like people were like staying home and all this other stuff, but now it's like we're having like trade issues right now, and we're just not gonna have fucking supplies or whatever. How is he gonna talk about this? We'll see. We'll have to see.
Sense whatsoever? Really?
Really.
Do you think that this is going to entice more people to buy your already loser of a console and all the accessories that no one is currently buying? Do you think that that's going to, wow, make me feel like it's a
But people are buying the accessories. DSP, what controller do you use when you play on PC? Oh, the Xbox controller, of course. You don't think that anyone else would use an Xbox controller? I mean, I think even iMac could register an Xbox controller. Okay.
it's a better premium product because I have to spend more on it? Or do you think that this is going to push people even more towards your competition who already are being seen as the premium gaming choices in the landscape? Microsoft was seen as the budget console this generation for
Were they?
$300, right?
Wait, what?
Seen as the premium gaming choices in the landscape. Microsoft was seen as the budget console this generation for $300, right? I can buy an Xbox Series S,
Oh, okay,
get Game Pass.
But that's a dumb DSP, why did Kat stop using her Series S? Why is she now using her Series X? I thought the Series S was good. Why is she using the Series X?
And now I've got access to all of these games running at a pretty good frame rate, a pretty good visual experience, and I didn't spend a lot of money. You're actually going
That's
to
not
take
true,
that
though.
away from people now.
People were not getting good performance from the Series S, and DSP modded the Series S for that as well, but whatever, okay.
By raising the price of all of your consoles by $80 to $100, and you're no longer the discount option. So what are you? No one's buying your console because it's the cheapest. No one's buying your console because you have good exclusives. No one's buying your console because you have the best graphics. So why would anyone buy your console? Every time.
But you realize that they have to make their money back on the manufacturing cost, right? If they sold it at the same price, it just wouldn't be tenable. Like, they wouldn't be able to make their money back on the hardware, which they'll be bleeding money on then. But whatever, maybe not.
That Microsoft management has been making a decision in the last several years. I have to shake my head and be like, they should all be unemployed.
He's really just ignoring everything. I mean, even like, let's see, 156.20. Okay, I just want to like go back to that tweet. Let's see.
Raised the prices of all the controllers. The Elite went up by $10. The Elite, that's the full case with all the accessories, went up by 20 bucks.
I can't
Challenging,
see
and they were
these
made with
fucking
flair.
fat ass heads
Okay,
blocking the text.
folks,
In the
I have something I have to say.
whatever.
Everyone knows we're going to raise the. I guess we just gotta kind of. But Xbox, Microsoft, they are not selling. I mean, just take all. Okay, like I said, you can get Xbox control if you are console to raise the fucking going to entice more people because I have to spend more on it in the landscape. Microsoft was seen as the budget of these games running at a pretty good frame by $80 to $100, and you're no longer the discount option. So what are you? No one's buying your console because it's the cheapest. No one's buying your console because you have good exclusives. No one's buying your console because you have the best graphics. So why would anyone buy your console?
Why?
Every time
But
that
but if that's the case, you get whatever. Okay, let's just.
Microsoft management has been making a decision in the last several years, I have to shake my head and be like, they should all be unemployed. Phil Spencer should not be the head.
They should be all unemployed, so they should just sell the console at the previous cost, even though now it may be a little bit more expensive to manufacture because the Xboxes are not made here. They're not made in America, so it's not going to be a cheap venture for them to do it now. And to also to argue that, well, then they could make it a factory here. I mean, that also is not like feasible financially, because that's also a lot of money that they would have to put into. If they're not selling enough of this console, why would they? I mean, it's just, there's a lot of like logistical issues with a lot of things right now that is causing a lot of uncertainty, which is like the problem here.
Of Microsoft Game Studios, he should be flipping burgers somewhere. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's an actual idiot. And the sad fact is, I think the reason
I love
that
that there was like a while DS was like, there's nothing wrong with flipping burgers. I understand that stuff, this and that. But he always uses it as a derogatory way to put people down. They should not have a job. They should be flipping burgers because they suck at their job. Like, okay, man.
people liked Phil Spencer so much is because he was so much better than Don Matrick during the Xbox One era. But in the modern era, we're seeing more and more how the guy is a fucking buffoon.
I love that he brings up Don Matrick. He loves Don Matrick now, and it's very obvious to me he forgot a lot of the things Don Matrick was all about when he announced the Xbox One, because it was more than just online only and everyone gets a connect issue. It was, he also wanted more hardcore DRM. He wanted the connect to count how many people were in a room and then charge a fee if there was a certain amount of people in a room. Like, these were not good things that were all pretty bleak at the time. I mean, arguably, I will say I don't know how much of that was Don Matrick, but it was just a very scary time to think about, that the possibility that the Xbox One was gonna count how many people were in a room and then charge you if there were too many people to watch a movie or whatever the fuck. It was really weird, and it was not a very fun time to be reading this about the Xbox.
He's an armpit scratcher.
Why are you calling him a monkey? Is it because that there may be some racial tones in calling people like a monkey or whatever? I mean, but Phil Spencer is not a black person, DSP. I mean, why say armpit scratcher then do monkey noises? This leads to very sus assumptions.
Oh, raise the price, but no one's buying your product anyway. Raise the price. What are you,
why
stupid?
are they raising the price?
Yeah, you're dumb. There's no other explanation.
This dude is acting as if like they're like, guys, what we're the industry leader, guys. What should we do today? Raise the price. Why not? Like, if that's the case, more companies would be doing that, though. I mean, arguably, people could argue Samsung is the industry leader on TVs, and, well, I think some people still say Sony is, but okay. Phones. Let's say phones. Samsung is the industry leader on phones. Should they just arbitrarily start raising their prices because they're the industry leader? Would he be okay with that? I mean, with that logic, then his phone he must be a billionaire. He has a fucking Samsung, right?
Explanation for it. He's a fucking troglodyte. He's an idiot. Why would you do this? You're already our last place. And now you're going to make your product more expensive? How will this help?
It's not about helping. It's literally like, hey, it's going to be a lot more money to manufacture this stuff. We have to raise our prices. Like, they even said it was like because of the uncertainty of the market. That's what they said.
Doesn't make any sense at all. There's actual no rationalization.
Actually, DSP may not understand what that really refers to. May be thinking more literally in the sense that they're talking about internally that they feel that they're unsure of like how to sell their Xboxes, so they are raising their prices. But when they say that the market's uncertain, it's because of like what has been going on. But okay.
For it, you can't even say that there was a mentality behind. Well, they had to do it because costs are going up. They don't have to mass manufacture Xboxes.
But they're manufacturing them though. They are still manufacturing these units when they need to. Like, why do you think the prices are going up, especially in the future? Because they probably are raising it so that if more people buy them, right? If all these people buy these Xbox controllers, let's say they keep at the same price and everyone buys them, okay, they're now all sold out, and Microsoft now has to make more of these devices, more Xboxes, more controllers. If they do this, like during these tariffs come back into play in 90 days, less than 90 days at this point, they're going to be paying insanely more to manufacture these things. So they have to raise prices to offset that most likely, so that they don't have to have they don't have to eat the cost right now or whatever. Like, I mean, it's just, that's probably an idea. I mean, because again, there's a reason why Sony has said that they're stockpiling PlayStations right now. But okay.
They have them in surplus. They already made them. No one's buying them. So they don't need their excuse. Oh, well, the cost went up. The cost of what? The Xboxes are already made. They're sitting in warehouses unsold. What cost is going up? It doesn't even, there's not even...
And just keep in mind, DSP brags about how he has a business degree and he's a business guy and this and that. And he's thinking about the here and now with these prices, but he's not thinking logistically with these prices and what they really mean for the company and how these things are manufactured, how they're traded, how they're shipped from where they were manufactured to here to there to wherever.
An actual justification for it. Tariffs. What tariffs? The product is here, sitting in a warehouse, unsold. The tariff doesn't affect it.
It does, because they have to make new if they all sell out.
That's what the tariff affects, not things that are sitting here unsold on a shelf or in a warehouse.
I mean, he's technically right about that, but at the same time, like,
so anyway, it's just
logistics.
It's insanity. It's absolute wild, and this guy remains in charge. I don't know why a stockholder would be like, oh,
I love that we're getting these thermoses and we're just pouring into a mug.
At this
but then when he gets coffee, he has to get another mug.
Not only are you the leader or the loser,
dude, think about it. He doesn't use the mug for coffee. The Level 1 podcast mug is not for coffee. It's for water.
Far trail dragger, right, in the gaming industry. But you're continuously making choice after choice that's bad for your company. You don't even want people to think that they have to buy an Xbox because you're saying, my phone is an Xbox.
Well, they're selling a subscription service.
My boombox.
But guess what? You could also use the Xbox controller on these other devices to play these Xbox games, dumbass. Like, oh, man.
My refrigerator's an Xbox. Anything is an Xbox that can run a Microsoft game. Okay, so why do I need to buy your console that you just raised the price $80 on if everything else is an Xbox too? You stupid mouth drooler.
How do you control these games, DSP?
Anyway,
like if you can play Xbox to your TV, really how are you controlling the game? Right? With the TV remote?
Let's continue.
I'm gonna play fucking Street Fighter with the TV remote. That's what I'm gonna do.
Because this story, all right, the real reason that this story is interesting is because it shows how just actual fan desire for something
Oh, this is about the
can
Chrono Trigger
almost
thing.
will
I'm
something into
tempted to
existence,
skip it because
but how sad it is that people kind of ignore what the fans want.
yeah, I'm
Like at the
skipping this. I don't give a fuck
yesterday,
because all it is that there's a mistranslation. The guy was making it sound as if there was gonna be a Chrono Trigger remake, and then like he said, it's not happening, and then like everyone's like, oh man, I love Chrono Trigger. But the only thing I will say is DSP kind of like I feel like kind of overhypes Chrono Trigger. I don't know. I don't feel like Chrono Trigger was that iconic of a game. Like not that it's bad. Don't get me wrong. I played Chrono Trigger. Uh, but I don't remember a lot of people growing up talking about this game like at all. Like the only time I ever heard about this game was uh like on YouTube. Like a few years ago on and off, and then I heard a lot through Retro Q Gaming would keep talking about this game. Then DSP, like that's it. Like that's the scope of my understanding of Chrono Trigger. And the game is good. But I think what's also funny is that DSP has not played Chrono Cross. He's such a huge fan, and he's like, "Oh, I love Chrono Trigger," but he didn't even play Chrono Cross. Go figure.
yesterday, the entire internet was abuzz with this news that Yuji Horii, Chrono Trigger, heard this and ever again, and everyone's excited. Our prayers have been answered. Say
But look how much he had to build this up. He's like, guys, they announced this. Everyone was dancing in the streets, and everyone
anything
was
at all about made it with the
that, blah, blah,
concept of
blah.
fighting bosses in different. Translator goes back to so basically the translator Chrono Trigger. And he
But guys, what if there's still hope? Think about it. If they're not supposed to say that, maybe this is a cover story. Yeah. Oh yeah, guys. We were just talking about the eras of games, not the game. We're not remaking this.
okay. Now he grew up playing classic. Someone to do something new with that. Pixels, the music, widescreen support, all of that. But just kind of looking back at the past, and you're like, these games were so amazing. They sold like gangbusters. Everyone in the world talked about them. They were
Did Chrono Trigger sell like gangbusters? Did it? I don't know. I don't feel like it did. It probably sold well, but I don't know. I don't think it sold like gangbusters. This is exactly as if it was like fucking Ghostbusters.
Yeah, there was Chrono Cross. That's true. But for the most part, they just don't do anything with them. And so people get so excited.
Yeah, but look at what's going on now. Like they would do it now, and people are gonna be like, "Oh, it's actually kind of stupid."
When a translator mistranslates something, the entire internet went crazy for half a day making videos.
Yeah, okay.
So if anything, it's a little sad that people run with stories before they're even confirmed. But I do have to ask the question, okay? Why don't they do something with it then? Like realistically, if you know.
I would kind of argue maybe it's because the people who worked on Chrono Trigger is no longer in the game in the company, and they probably don't, and maybe it's not feasible to hash it out. I mean, Toriyama did the art, so like, are we gonna just replace the art? Are we gonna do new art? Like, it makes sense to remaster it. I'll say that, but if we're gonna remake it, like, what are we gonna do about the art? And I don't think a lot of people would be happy if they got the people who did the Dragon Ball Daima show to do the art for Chrono Trigger. And that's what I'm thinking.
The entire internet wants Chrono Trigger content, whether it's a HD 2D remaster, a full 3D remake, a sequel, a prequel, anything. We want Chrono Trigger content. We want to pay for it. We want to digest it. We want to play it. We want to experience it. It is something from our childhoods that we love, and you've taken it away from us by essentially shelving it for 30 years. Right?
Right.
So why not do something with it, Square Enix? Instead of sitting around and pumping out Final Fantasy 16 and then complaining that
oh my god, dude, move on. Move on. Dude, like, nobody cares. Final Fantasy 16 did not sell like nothing either, and I mean, Square Enix, there was no plans for that game to have DLC. They added DLC to a game, so why would they do that to a game that didn't sell very well? it's almost like Square Enix probably didn't care that much that a PlayStation 5 exclusive did not sell that much. Like, and again, 7 Rebirth is a sequel to a remake that divided a lot of the Final Fantasy 7 fanboys and said, I don't know, I don't like these pseudo sequels. Or it's like, it's a sequel, do you want to play the original? Like, it's all like that.
Change the entire franchise into something people don't want. Why don't you listen to actually
Oh, man.
what people do want?
What do
It's
we want?
pretty darned obvious. People want Chrono Trigger and are willing to pay for it, so make it. Stop making stuff people don't want and make stuff people do want, and then you'll be successful. It's almost like Business 101, but I swear to God, some cases with these game
I swear DSP argued about this before. I swear he said something along the lines of like, yeah, you may want it, but it may not make the most business sense. Or whatever, but I don't know.
And these companies, they don't get it. They don't understand it. If you just listen, you put your ear to the ground to listen to what gamers are asking for and saying. And if you actually deliver the things
What
that
if
they're
gamers don't
asking
know what they
for,
want?
that they'll
Everything of
actually
that?
give you money for them. It's like it's a new concept or something, right? Like
Oh my god, this patronizing tone can like go off a bridge. Yeah.
products that
Oh
people
man,
want,
like
the
listening to
money to
people.
purchase the products, exchange. Get it?
Get
It's called
it?
business.
Oh wow, wowie zowie! I didn't know that. Wow, I'm sure you're glad you taught
We
Square
have one
Enix about
more
that.
news story for today. I know this has been a very news-heavy day, correct?
All right, correct.
Okay, ready?
Okay. Let's fucking go.
Rockstar Games yesterday officially announced that Grand Theft Auto 6 is canceled. Just kidding. Grand Theft Auto 6 has been delayed significantly because originally it had a projected release.
Dude, it was supposed to come out this year and it's coming out May next year. I don't think that's a significant delay. To me, a significant delay is like either it's delayed to no release date, like it's like, hey, we're just delaying it. We're not gonna hit this year, or it's like, hey, it's gonna be on 2028, maybe 2027, like depends. But next year, I don't think is that significant. It's like, okay, it's like 1 year, but whatever. Okay.
Release date of fall 2025. But the funny thing was that we were not seeing any concrete information about this game. And you would have thought,
But arguably though, like, I mean, obviously it didn't surprise anyone, but how often does Rockstar really like show their games? Like Red Dead 2 did not have that much coverage when it was coming out. Like when did they announce that? I want to say September. And then they released it like in November. Like that's it. I don't remember them talking about that game anytime before that, but whatever. Okay.
thought if this game really is coming out in the fall, right? By now, wouldn't have we seen gameplay? Wouldn't we have seen like some kind of promotion? Are you aware that the gameplay trailer came out over a year ago? Yeah, the first trailer for GTA 6 is over a year old already. So,
wow, dude, yeah, but it came out last year to hype up the game coming out this year. Like it, of course. Whatever. Okay.
what's going on with this game? We would know more about it if it was actually coming out in the fall. So, officially, here is the full statement from Rockstar. We're very sorry that this is later than you expected. Oh, excuse me. First, Grand Theft Auto 6 is now set to release on May 26th, 2026. We are very sorry this is later than you expected. The interest and excitement surrounding a new Grand Theft Auto has been truly humbling for our entire team. We want to thank you for your
They should
support
have made Bully
and your
2.
patience as we work to finish the game.
That
With
one
every
got
game we
delayed.
released, the goal has always been to try and exceed your expectations, and Grand Theft Auto 6 is no exception. We hope you understand that we need this extra time to deliver at the level of quality that you expect and deserve. We look forward to sharing more information with you soon. Sincerely, Rockstar.
He tweeted this, and it was such an insane take. He was like saying that these other companies, they should be brave to now release their games, as if like all these developers were like not putting out release dates. But again, if they did, let's say, and then they decide to delay the game, guess what DSP would say? Why did they show their release date if they were gonna delay it? But now they just are like, okay, well, let's not promise a release date so we can just like show the concept and get people like on board, and then show the release date when we know it's gonna come out.
Our game.
But okay.
So
I love you read like a
of
bedtime
course,
story.
the internet has responded in various different ways. Some people are saying, well, this is horrible, right? This game has already been in development over a decade. What kind of development hell
man.
is this? Some
Oh
people
my
actually
God,
started
yeah, it's in
wondering, is
development
this
hell, buddy.
actually the longest development cycle ever for a game? And the answer is no. To this day, still the longest
Bully
development
2
cycle
is
for
the
a game was Duke
longest.
Nukem Forever, which started development in the late 90s
Oh
and
my
didn't come out
God.
till 2011.
But
So
it
that
had,
one actually is
but
technically.
that changed hands multiple times along the way. Like, this is staying in the same company from start to finish. But okay,
He's
whatever.
still beating GTA 6. Okay.
Right.
But,
Okay.
you know, what's going on with this game? Why on earth did they actually announce it and say it was going to come out fall 2025 with nothing to show? Kind of weird. Why?
They announced that when they had something to show, though.
Well, it is in development, but no release date or no
Whatever.
estimated time frame. And maybe that would have been better, because now, of course, people are going to be disappointed. I was just saying this last week.
Oh man, I hate this guy talking about these delays. Why is it, right, that when other games get delayed, DSP shits on them? Wait a minute. Wait a minute, guys. Get a load of this. Get a load of this. Look at the screen. It says follow back. Rockstar is following PP Burnell. I would not have thought Rockstar Games would be following this guy at all. And guys, what? Theo theory time. I just noticed this derailed my train of thought immediately. I think DSP is kinder to Rockstar Games because get this, Rockstar has given him the clout of being followed, and DSP being the little like teenager brain, baby brain guy he is like, Rockstar loves me. This is so cool. But I guarantee they would have unfollowed him if like they paid attention, because they probably followed him because he was like with Machinima.
This year, all right, seemed like an underwhelming year so far. The games that have been the best games are not the big ones, the AAA ones, the ones that everyone expected, but instead are games like Blueprints or Clair Obscur. These are the games far.
What?
The games that have been the best games are not the big ones, the AAA ones, the ones that everyone expected, but instead are games like Blueprints or Clair Obscur.
Of course, we gotta like backhand compliment these indie games. Yeah, nobody thought these games would be good. Yeah, because people look at indie games, they think that they're all trash, right? Like you. Like, dude, come on. This is the only dude that is like, I can't believe an indie game's actually good. You don't even play them. You don't even know what indie means. Every time you talk about indie, I just think he's talking about Indiana Jones. That's how little I think he knows.
These are the games that are like the Game of the Year contenders right now. We needed a big AAA game to come out and actually be so damn good that it actually feels like the old days of games, right? It's been a long time.
Oh my God, he's always like, about this old days of gaming. Guys, like, it's not like the old days where every game was amazing. Dude, like, there were games that came out in the old days that weren't that good. Mario Kart Double Dash, like, I have nostalgic memories of that game, but I don't think that was a good Mario Kart game. It didn't have a lot of good stages. It had only like what, 2? No, I think it had a few unlockable characters, but it had like I didn't like a lot of the stages. There were some that were good, but a lot of them I didn't care about. Like the Donkey Kong Country stage, that one I thought was boring. It just had a lot of boring stages. There was some that I wish they would ever like bring back, like the one that was like in a city. Like that one was pretty cool, but whatever.
AAA studios really putting out a banger that we can depend on to be good. Instead, it's kind of like every time one of these studios now puts out a game,
banger, not banger.
It's going to be good or not. And everyone seems to feel like GTA 6 is the one. You know, Rockstar doesn't put out games often. So, man,
dude, he's
taking
the only
their time with this.
Dude, they announced the characters. Everyone was like, guys, it's woke. Is it woke to have these characters? And it's like, okay, move on.
They're letting it cook. They're letting it simmer. They're seasoning it.
Oh,
They're finishing it, putting those garnishes on it, finishing touches, side dishes. This thing's gonna
dude,
be
he's
the best.
taking this lingo and he's like fucking butchering it. People just say let them cook because that's like enough, and now it's like let them cook, let them simmer, let them season, let them fuck it. Like, oh my god, dude, just stop being like such a grandpa. Stop being a boomer. God damn.
Main course of gaming that we've had in a very long time. People still are speculating this thing's going to be $100 or more when it actually releases, not this typical retail price. So some people, admittedly, are pretty disappointed. Others are like, we never
Dude,
really
someone
expected it
brought
to
this
come
up
out
in my stream, and I said this a few times as well. He really does talk in his podcast like these fucking E3 presenters. But the very fundamental difference is that the E3 presenters are presenting at a show. Like, they're supposed to drum up hype and be like, you got this, blah, blah, blah. DSP is doing a podcast as if he's, like, announcing shit. It is so annoying.
out this year anyway. Me, I was kind of in the middle. Like, I wanted it to come out this year. You guys kept asking me this last week. Do you think it'll come out this year? And I said, I hope it does. But the thing is, it doesn't have a release date. It has a release window. Without a date, it's hard for me to believe. Like, now that they're saying May 26, 2026, that makes me feel like that's a date that they're absolutely, positively pushing for.
Other games have done this, and they still get delayed. And he's like acting as if that never happened. Oh, okay.
Want that to be the release date, because now promotional materials will start being made. Stores will start planning giant launch events. Everyone
this is the most fucking chill fucking corporate bullshit I'm listening to. Dude, who the fuck hypes up a game release by talking about how they're gonna be advertised to? This is fucking annoyingly gross. God damn, listen to this.
Positively pushing for. They want that to be the release date, because now promotional materials will start being made. Stores will start planning giant launch events. Everyone will be psyched for GTA 6.
I thought nobody cares about launch events. Remember this whole dude saying, guys, nobody cares about midnight releases. But you know what's getting a midnight release? The Switch 2. You know who's not talking about it? DSP. But now we're talking about launch events for Grand Theft Auto 6. Not for Switch 2. Fuck that. That's junk. You're buying this online, buddy. Okay.
May 26th. We didn't have that date before, so it's not really that big of a deal. But now the push will begin. So,
oh my god, dude, this is like annoying.
You know what they say?
And it's all cope.
Well, you know what?
This is all cope because literally he was banking on this game to save the business. For some reason. It's really weird. And honestly, all that saves his business is fucking whales.
But,
and then I guarantee you, we're gonna get this most annoying shit. Guys, when GTA 6 comes out, we're gonna see a lot of people who've never been around before. Which I've always said, when he does this shit, why are we caring more about these people who left and come back randomly and not the people who are there throughout your entire life, right? Like, all these people are there now watching your fucking slop, and this dude is like, gets horny about people who have never been around for a long time coming back. Like, and then you're gonna get LARPers, and then people that do that come back and say, hey Phil, been a long time, I've been around, but now I love when I see you play GTA and you yell about how the cars fly around. And he's gonna be like, wow, he's Owie, I love you, I can't believe you're back giving me $1. And then fucking Teblock is gonna sit there and be like, oh, I guess I'm nothing. I guess I'm just, I was just the filler viewer. He treats his viewers like they're filler viewers, and then the people who haven't been around are like the big time viewers. This dude his entire life, he's broken down things by saying things are filler and things are that, or the main event. And I feel like when you start thinking of things as filler, oh, these games I'm playing are filler games, you kind of have a miserable life. Like, when you're thinking about stuff as filler content and stuff to pass the time, that kind of tells me you're bored and you have nothing better to do and you're miserable. Because I don't talk about any like free time I have as I'm just doing this to fill time. I'm just making this video to fill time. I have to go to a figure drawing session soon, and I'm just filling time doing this video. Like, that would kind of seem like I kind of don't care. Or I'm just doing this just to pass the time and not because I wanted to talk about this joke of a news segment.
I forget who it was. Was it Awata-san who said at one
Oh
point
my god.
that
And he gets
a
it
delayed
wrong.
game comes out late?
Oh my god. Dude, look at his eyes.
But you know what? I forget.
And by the way, it's Miyamoto. Huge Nintendo fan. Gets the guy wrong completely. Attributes the quote to Iwata-san, who passed away, who he has said, who he has shat on many times when he was alive. But okay.
I forget who it was. Was it Awata-san who said at one point that a delayed game comes out late?
A delayed game comes out late. Oh man. Okay. I think it was more along the lines of a good game is a delayed game is eventually good. A rush game is always bad, or whatever. I'm gonna like find the exact quote. Unlike DSP, I will do research. Miyamoto. It says there's a quote meme, but let's just. I'm just gonna look at the quote. I'm just gonna look at the quote. Let's get into the quote. Uh. Oh my god. A delayed game is eventually good, but a rush game is forever bad. Yes, that is the quote. But I'm gonna read this. I'm gonna read a few memes. I'm gonna read a few meme quotes. A delayed game and all that, but I really want to play Hollow Knight Silksong, bruh. Okay, that's kind of a lame one. I never said that shit. Okay, Miyamoto, I get it. A delayed game is eventually laid, but a bad is even the game. Okay, this one is truly inspiring. I gotta look at it fully. I was kind of reading a summary. A delayed game is eventually laid, but a bad is even the game. Okay, thank you, Miyamoto. Let's see. All right, last one. Why the hell did I wear a black jacket for this photo shoot? Looks like I'm being consumed by the. Okay, that's not a good one. I'm not gonna end on that one. I gotta find a good meme to end on. It gotta be funny. It gotta be funny. Okay, finally, it's game over. Bad games are always bad. Okay, that's a good one to end on. Finally, it's game over. I couldn't have said it better myself, Miyamoto.
But a bad game that's rushed is bad forever.
That's not even
true.
Whatever. Okay.
You don't want this game to come out with all the bells and whistles, but half of them don't work. Not polished,
my favorite
falling
Miyamoto
apart,
quote
stumbling on
is
its own self, tripping on its own shoelaces. You want this to be
a gear is always guilty
era,
but a
right?
guilty gear
Where
is always
basically
innocent.
Games
figure that one out
that come from a AAA developer can be determined to be good or trusted to be good and not a disappointment. Rockstar may be the one studio. I mean, take a look at the Mighty Have Fallen. We've had
Ubisoft.
BioWare. We've had Ubisoft.
Okay, BioWare. Okay.
We've had, I keep going. I probably named 10 studios, Bethesda in general. That
can we see another studio that we've never heard of?
Used to be the Titans, used to be the dependable guys, and now they're putting out crap.
Bethesda always have put out like buggy games.
Rockstar, remaining the bastion of good gaming quality. Delaying their game, hopefully, is a good sign. And hopefully, when this game comes out next year,
I remember he kind of mocked Cyberpunk for being delayed. Same with Last Guardian.
A true groundbreaking experience that will revolutionize things in gaming. Okay. New gameplay elements, new graphical abilities, insane amount of content, storytelling, right? We want this game.
Oh my god, listen to this.
Will revolutionize things in gaming. New gameplay elements, new graphical abilities, insane amount of content, storytelling, right?
Storytelling.
We want this game to be what games used to be back in the day that we don't get anymore. We don't want the game that's just phoned in, paint by numbers, cookie cutter copied everyone else and taped together. We want something that truly feels like something special in gaming culture. With this delay, hopefully it gives them that time to do
Dude,
that.
this is such schlock. Just sitting there. Oh shit! I'm like, I think you're. Oh god, no, you should be able to hear it. Because yeah, because if I play it, it should go through stream
Do that.
alerts. The only thing is you might have double echo. No, you don't. Not in this scene. Okay, that's good. So it's not as bad as it would have been if it was muted. But it's such schlock. This dude, literally is like, oh, quality gaming culture goodness. Like, let's hear this again.
And taped together, we want something that truly feels like something special in gaming culture. With this delay,
I don't think the
hopefully
average gamer is thinking that broadly as a gaming culture or whatever. Like, gaming culture is also very vague in general, because that could be games that have no story or pure gameplay. As I said even an hour ago, 2 hours ago, is that gaming it cannot be put into one little box. It's not one thing. It's many things. And saying that, oh, it's game culture, I mean, it's like, it could be anything, whatever.
hopefully gives them that time to do that. That's my opinion anyway. To be honest, I wanted it to come out this year, but I think we'll be all right. And I think that when it comes out, everyone's going to be psyched. There you go.
There you go. There you have it. Okay.
Folks, everything is well with you. You're cool and hilarious.
All right, I'm over this. I'm not gonna watch this. I don't think there's anything else that he says that is worth really going into. But let's see what he's doing. Oh my god, this looks like he's crashing out, but I know he's not.
They have completely destroyed.
Oh god, this gaming news is gonna scare me. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. And it's gonna be, guys, look, this game was stupid and woke, and this game not woke. Even though, like, whatever. Oh man, I hate when he does this shit, when he shits on the game that everyone hates and props another game
What
up
is
that
going on,
loves.
everyone?
Like, fuck off.
On today's show, we've got a big news roundup, including Gears of War is coming to PlayStation.
Oh my god, this is so cringe. This is like a fucking, like, 90s style newscasting. This is gonna happen on that? Mario on Sony?
In an unprecedented second remaster release. Also, some great news.
Unprecedented second remaster release. I mean, the nature of a second remaster isn't really unheard of when we had Last of Us. Just The Last of Us. I mean, come on. You don't need to think that hard about when I say Last of Us. You're thinking of like 10 million fucking re-releases. So that's unheard of. This being re-released on PlayStation is the only part that's like weird. Okay, that's it. There you have it.
News for Clear Obscure fans with the game's performance.
Good news for Clear Obscure fans, not just for people who like RPGs. Oh my god.
Massively outdoing its other competitors. Pretty cool. And an update regarding customization of the Switch 2. Plus, today we'll talk about all the games I've been playing.
There's customization?
The push to 50 goals for the unlocking of the viewer's choice.
Oh my god, the 50 goals of fucking death. Oh my god. I'm scared to ask. I'm scared to ask. Oh man. What are we doing?
Audience, and not everyone can attend every stream because of the time differences. It's just wild because
okay, I don't care what the time difference is.
Man, the attack.
Okay.
Towards, big revelation.
You know, I'm just gonna say this about his haircut. You know, people dog on his haircut when he gets it, but low key, I feel the day one of that haircut, you can kind of like at least be thinking, okay, whatever. As it grows, it looks awful. It looks worse now because literally it just looks like I really want to draw this, but like I don't have my iPad connected. But I have paper. I do have paper. Oh my god, I gotta find a blank. Okay, this is what it looks like. I'm gonna draw it, and hopefully it will show. This is what it looks like. All right, hold on. Almost done. Trying to like, make sure it reads what I want it to look like. Okay, you gotta ignore the bottom part. It was an accident. Okay, but anyways, this is what he kind of looks like. Like literally, his hair just looks like it's just coming from the top, and it's just like just going upwards that way. Like it just looks like a bird's nest. I try to be a little bit funny with like, oh my god, the AI cannot handle this. It doesn't want you to know that this is Phil. Look at him. Look at him. I kind of feel like you know what I should do. I should do like daily. I should do like little silly sketch, little doodles of Phil in every DSP video. So get hype. That's new content for these videos, and then I'll post it on Twitter, and then everyone's gonna love it, and then I'll be funny, and then I don't know. I don't know where that was going, but let's
Revelations and maybe the end. What are your thoughts on breaking news about this? Rest of the show. Here you go.
Oh god, what was the joke?
It's all yours. Here you go. Breaking news. I'm going to let you do the rest of the show. How dare you? Would you like to do that? You know what?
Oh my god, it's a fucking teacher joke.
Two.
Oh my god.
And 10 seconds and counting down. Would you like to see it?
What? Echo the Dolphin. Dude, we could see the URL. Dude, shut up. Oh my god, fucking...
That's a long time to wait. That's a hell of a...
Dude, we saw the URL. Fucking bash your head into the wall and tell me what clothes you see. I'm getting violent.
Holy crap.
This is like driving me...
Check back in on that.
Oh my god, this is the fucking joke! Oh my god, fuck this. I can't. I can't deal with this fucking clown world. We're just gonna skip ahead. This dude is not funny and it's torture. Like, shut up.
Way that you're gonna be able to buy other colors of it or customize, because I can't imagine. Back and watch my coverage of that video that we watched of it. There's got to be a way that you're going to be able to buy other colors of it or customize, because I can't imagine that people are going to want to keep that color. It's ugly.
Okay, I was rewatching him unbox the Switch 1, by the way. Funny video. But he says in that video, I didn't buy the blue and red color Switch because that's for kids. I wanted the gray normal one and all this stuff. He like mocked the loud, obnoxious colors of Switch One, and then overnight, suddenly he loves these colors and seeing this like standard color scheme. DSP is freaking out.
I don't want baby blue and a weird pink. I want like strong colors.
Man, oh my
Some
god,
people might just want an all black.
this dude is such a little baby. He's so scared of these little bright colors. Oh, we got baby blue. Oh my god, dude! Like, I don't know what to tell you.
Switch.
The
Some
Animal
people
Crossing
might
Switch
want like white
looks
accents.
sick.
Some people might want green or nice accented colors depending on your personal tastes. With the Switch One, you had to buy a whole new Switch that was colored that way, right? So what are they doing? It's actually
What? No, no. You could just buy the fucking Joy-Cons. Because all Switches had the same color for the Switch screen and the dock. You could buy any color Joy-Con, and that's it. That's the color. You don't have to buy. You didn't have to buy a whole Switch unit for that. This dude is so stupid. Oh man,
actually been revealed
embarrassing.
that my prediction was actually dead on correct. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the Switch 2 customization. The side panels actually come off the Switch 2 and you can replace them.
No
one knew
He
this.
did not predict that. No way, I'm not no, because basically any controller can have customization because you can put decals on it. They're gonna sell different colors of these controllers eventually. Like this, no, shut up.
Until this morning, third-party websites started listing actual listings for replacement side panels for them. Okay, so here it is, decorative strips, and they're selling kits with a tool. See, this is the tool that you can use to remove the plastic sides.
I don't think this is official.
I don't know what this is. It's probably something to help you push.
Dude, I don't think these are official. I don't think Nintendo, because I don't think Nintendo would want their, customer base to like disassemble their controller. Like the second you introduce a tool to do something, that tells me that's not intentional. Like, okay.
Push them into place or whatever. So the plastic will pop out.
I don't know.
And you'll be able to get other colors. Right now, they're only selling a replacement periwinkle and coral or whatever this.
Oh my god, dude!
I don't even know
shut
what colors
up.
you would call them.
Dude, like, come on.
Okay,
periwinkle, same
what
joke
this
he had for
confirms
years, by the way.
Is that there's going to be a wide plethora of customization colors available for the Switch 2. I would predict you're going to not only see primary colors, you're going to see all kinds of wild things. You'll probably see things that are themed to games, right? That's good. This is a harkening back.
Oh man,
to
I
the
don't know.
Xbox
I mean, it could be real, but I don't know. You throw a tool in, I'm not buying that. I'm thinking this is like you'll avoid a warranty doing it.
Pop on and off.
Like you'll send it to Nintendo to fix it. Like, you fucked up the sides. We're not doing
stylish.
This.
They also had stickers and the Street Fighter 4.
You can do stickers on anything. I mean, I could put stickers on my PS5 right now.
Red instead of these weird like pastels.
Oh my god, these are the same colors they use for the Switch 1.
But none of them have been up for sale yet, except for the replacement. Head on with what I was predicting, that they're not just going to sell this periwinkle and coral. They're actually going to have other colors.
Periwinkle and coral.
Colors are terrible.
In fact,
drink something. They purposely colored it horribly. In a weird.
Oh my god! And then he's like conspiracy theorizing. Guys, they made these colors shitty, so you buy this. You could make this argument about the Switch 1. Yeah, they gave you shitty colors with the Joy-Cons, so you buy other Joy-Cons. Like, shut up.
Weird pastel that's going to annoy you because they want you to go spend more money. I think that's dead on what they're going for.
Oh my god!
They want people to go accessorize and buy a whole bunch of stuff.
Shut up.
Switch 2. And even if you might say, well, wait a minute, I don't get that. But they're not officially Nintendo branded. This is a third-party item. So why would Nintendo care that you're buying it, right? Well, it's very simple. Because if you're not aware, when people go to buy accessories for...
Dude, if Nintendo was selling accessories, why didn't they show that in the fucking Switch 2 event? You would think that would be like kind of big news, right? Because look how unique this looks. But I'm telling you, I'm more willing to believe this is not something that you're supposed to do. I'm just saying, because before they did that with the 360, they've done that for a lot of consoles. You can like mod how a console looks. They've done that for controllers. Oh, okay.
For
Sure.
anything, they tend to buy more than one.
Man, this dude
It's
like
actually
falls
been
for
well
this
known,
stuff
well
very
documented. It's
easily.
even retail sales.
This
If
dude can be
someone
led
goes
astray
to the store
very
to
quickly.
buy something for an
I mean, he
electronic,
thought people
a
gonna
car,
hack
whatever it
the
is,
modem through like
they
a plugin or
typically
whatever.
will buy a bunch if you can sell them on it. So what they're trying to say, hey, sell this thing with ugly colors. They're immediately going to want to buy new faceplates or side plates or whatever.
Why didn't we say this
But
about
also,
Sony?
they'll probably buy
That wanted
the
to sell
stand. They'll buy the
faceplates.
charger dock. They'll buy the cable. They'll buy the wrist strap. They'll buy,
man, we
you
don't
know,
say this
10
about
other
Sony.
things with it.
We don't say this about
So,
Microsoft.
There you have it.
There you have it. Dude, this looks legit, like not legit.
If I get a Switch 2, I would definitely like to change the colors. The thing that gets me, though, what about the thumbsticks? I think those are permanently stuck to ugly-ass colors. I don't want those colors on my thumbsticks either. So maybe what I'll do is I'll just throw out the Joy-Cons again. Like I did with Switch 1. I think I played one game on the Joy-Cons on Switch 1. Wasn't it ARMS? That was it. And then after that, I just got rid of them. And I just played on the Pro Controller or a Hori pad or whatever I played on.
You can't play that on the Pro Controller. You had to use the fucking Joy-Cons.
So maybe I'll just do the same thing with Switch 2. I don't know.
And
if I get
that's bullshit.
Okay,
no,
we'll
you
see.
didn't, because Cat
Anyway,
uses
so
fuck
there you
off.
have it.
You're an idiot. Like, this is like driving me up the wall for no reason. It's a petty news story, but that Echo the Dolphin really, really took a turn.
Dabhan says, no one buys anything Nintendo branded after buying the console. It's all third party. Nintendo makes nothing. What's up, Gabriel? How you doing, man? See, Dabhands, that's not true, though, because, excuse me, initially, usually it's only Nintendo-branded stuff that's available when it comes to, like, controllers and the like. Yeah, there will be third-party controllers, but probably not at launch. I've seen a lot of accessories, but it's all like...
All right, so I don't care. We're moving on.
Close, because I don't want to stare at those ugly colors all day.
Oh my god, these colors really trigger him so much. He has to feel insecure about bright colors. He's so, like, fucking hardcore thinking... These colors are for women. I'm not a woman. I'm a man. I like dark colors.
Joy-Cons actually be good, or will they be garbage? Because everyone knows the Joy-Cons on Switch 1 were actual trash.
They're still going to be garbage, and you're going to complain.
Gear game that's going to be a prequel. If you
I'm so glad I skipped for Gears.
You remember, this one is actually supposed to be based on Emergence Day, but it's weird because we haven't heard. Do know that they're making a new Gears of War.
What?
Probably 3 words you weren't expecting.
Why
to
are we
hear
talking about?
Soon. We do know that they're making a new Gears of
War
game.
We gotta
that's
learn
going to be a prequel. If you remember, waiting and said, "Where is the updates? Where's the news about this game?" There is none. So this morning there was a shocking revelation, a huge announcement. That are you ready for this? NS, Windows PC, PlayStation 5, and Steam.
I would love it if it
on August 26th. Read more here, and we will. But wait a minute.
We will?
Gears of War Reloaded? Wasn't there Gears of War 1? Didn't they already do this? Yes.
It was a remaster on the fucking Xbox One. He got this game for free, by the way. Never played it. He has never even played the first game. He doesn't know what Gears of War is. He only played 3, maybe 2. And then Judgment, and then he played 4, and then he played 5. He's gonna play E-Day. This is the second remaster that went to the Series X and PlayStation 5. Like, it's not whatever.
Yes, they already did. Gears of War 1 has already been redone. For those who don't know, Gears of War was a long-running franchise originally made by Epic Games.
Why?
That's right. The
Why
same
are we
studio that
explaining
today
this?
is
It's
known
right
for
in
other
front
company
of
developed
us.
called the Coalition. That have opinions on this. We're selling this. We're going to do something else. It's kind of the same deal. The original Gears of War was an Xbox 360 earlier game. I can attest to it. Cover-based shooter, team-based, very fun game.
Wait, what can you attest to?
Before I became a YouTuber, cover-based shooter, played incredibly well. It ran, and then they decided, we're selling this. We're going to do something else. So they sold it to Microsoft. Gears of War 1 was already remade. It was during the Xbox One
It was remastered. It was remade. They didn't remake
Gears
the
of War
game.
was an
They
Xbox
didn't remake
360
it. They
earlier
didn't remake
game.
it.
It was groundbreaking. It played incredibly well. It ran at 60 frames per second. It had both a great single-player campaign and an awesome online gameplay experience. I can attest to it. It was one of the games pre-YouTube, before I became a YouTuber.
Okay.
Playing the crap out of people. Very, very fun.
I thought he
Good
said
stuff.
he never played Gears of War 1, but okay, sure.
During the Xbox One era, while the Coalition was making new Gears of War games, Microsoft decided they wanted to remake Gears of War 1, and they did. And they called it Gears of War Ultimate Edition, and it included upscaled graphics. The original Gears of War was only 720p. This one was now 1080p. The original Gears of War was only 30 frames in certain situations. Well, now they upgraded it to be like 60 frames. Okay?
Was it 60
So,
frames? I don't know.
There you go. Dabhan says it also added PC content, 5 extra levels, and all later game mechanics.
All right. DSP did not know that. Great.
The original Gears of War returns faithfully remastered and natively optimized for more platforms than ever before. It will be sold on August 26, 2025 for $39.99
SRP.
on the Xbox Series X and S,
I didn't say SRP.
Xbox PC, not Windows PC, Xbox PC. Yes, they're calling it that now.
Oh, okay.
Xbox Cloud Gaming, PlayStation 5, and wait. What?
God,
PlayStation
it was
5?
cartoon.
Yes. Gears of War, for the first time ever, will be on PlayStation 5 come August.
Wow.
And as a
Wowie,
special
dude.
added bonus for Game Pass Ultimate or PC Game Pass subscribers, it will be with Game Pass for free. So,
As long as you pay for the subscription service. Yeah! Subscription service!
as you can see, Play Anywhere,
See,
enable.
this is the E3 press conference side talking. This is what you watch those old E3 press conferences. That's what they do. Guys, it's coming to Game Pass. Yeah, right after this event.
It will support cross play and cross
Like
progression
every other
across
game.
all
Wow.
platforms. So you could be at home playing it on your gaming PC, Series
Okay.
S, running at 120 hertz and no input delay, kills because they can't react to them. That fans who own the original version of Gears of War Ultimate Edition as of today.
Dude, this is E3 press conference. Oh my god. But the thing is, it's worse coming from DSP because it's DSP. Like, this is a podcast, not a fucking presentation.
Only. You had to have owned it as of today. Okay? We'll get a free upgrade, excuse me,
I'm sure you
to
got that
Gears
on
of War
mine.
Reloaded. So if you bought Ultimate Edition last console gen, you own Gears of War Reloaded for free. All
That's
right?
kind of funny because
It's a
on
celebration
whatever,
of one of
okay.
gaming's most iconic franchises, 4K resolution, 120 frames per second
Oh,
support.
wow.
The ultimate cross progression, cross play, multiplayer experience. As we approach the 20th anniversary of Gears of War in 2026, we're reflecting on what the franchise means. It's about the stories we've told, the friendships we've.
Okay.
Gears of War Ultimate Edition, Gears of War Reloaded, and then if you zoom in right here,
It's a
won't
gear.
let me.
Wow, he's struggling.
I'm trying to zoom in. They won't let me.
If
zoom
I
in
was on, if this was an Apple, you could
Well,
just
I wanted to
pinch
go.
and
I wanted to zoom in incredibly high up there and see if you. It doesn't work. My joke didn't work. All right. Anyway,
yeah, like everything
go.
else.
built for brotherhood. There you go. Precision
for
performance
love.
on every platform. So 60 frames per second in campaign, 120 frames per second in multiplayer.
Why can't they do
Dolby Vision
120 in
and
the campaign?
7.1.4 Dolby Atmos for the two
Atmos.
people who have that.
Okay.
Very nice. So here you go. Get
There
it
you
now.
go.
And I will, because it comes out August 26th.
He got it, dude. He got that mega free, by the way, because he got
2
the
days before
remaster
the
for free,
Snake
by the
Eater
way.
remake,
Dude, I hope he buys it.
We'll be playing Gears
But
of
he has
War.
it on Game Pass anyway. He has
How
Game Pass.
exciting.
Exciting.
Very Mode was literally copied and emulated in every single cooperative online game after. There was no Horde. Horde Mode
What?
literally is originated in Gears of War, and then Horde mode was literally copied and emulated in every single cooperative online game after. There was no Horde mode until Gears of War. They're not
Okay.
forcing you to pay for it, but that it's going to be on Game Pass. Because if you had to pay for it, it'd be annoying. And also, if you already own the previous version, it's free. That's very nice of them. Hopefully it's a fun
Dude,
summertime
like,
experience.
you literally have to pay
By
a
the way,
subscription service for it, and then to
let's
get it for
check
free, you
in
still
on
have
that.
to,
You
like,
go
you
to the
still have to
Dolphin
pay
website
for
again.
it. Oh my god,
It says,
why
this is from
he
so-and-so, but don't read this.
Why is he
Okay, I won't.
forcing this
I won't
joke
read
about
it.
Echo the Dolphin?
Thanks for a $2 tip.
Oh
whoever-
my
for
god,
the person
dude, like,
you know who you are, but doesn't want me to read it.
I think my
appreciate it.
friend did a better joke
Okay.
telling me, like, don't play Echo the
So,
Dolphin. It's a
we're
scary
now at
game. And I was like, okay,
$37
that's
to
pretty
support
scary.
everybody.
And that was it.
Let's
This
keep
is
that momentum
worse.
rolling. Okay.
Okay, come on. Let's just get to the fucking let's dance. Let's suck off the French or whatever segment we're gonna be
Ian.
doing. He's gonna do probably like
came in here
they beat Assassin's Creed with a
But what can you
baguette.
do?
Guys, because
Because
get it?
tomorrow-
The French people love baguettes.
You feel,
Baguettes.
you know.
Ha ha ha.
So that
Wow, we're taking forever to get to the next news segment. We're really taking our time. Oh my god.
was weird. Did you see that?
Oh.
Expedition 33 is doing incredibly well. Expedition 33, for those who don't know, Clear
Wow.
Obscure Expedition 33 is a game made by 30 game developers who used to all work for Ubisoft, but they got fed up with the way that Ubisoft ran things
Oh,
and decided to
my
split off and
God.
make their own studio and do things for their own.
Dude,
The head
this is
developer
gonna
said,
be
hey,
mega
I've always wanted to make a
obnoxious.
Final Fantasy game. I just never got the opportunity. Let's just make our own Final Fantasy game. And so he basically
Oh
tried
my
to emulate
God.
and improve on elements of games like Final Fantasy X,
But should
Lost
he give up? He should look
Odyssey,
at the writing on the
and
wall. All
others
these studios are closing
make
down. Why would he make
Clear
a new
Obscure.
studio, right?
Well, ladies and gentlemen,
Right?
Clear Obscure
Right?
officially this morning became the highest rated game of all time on Metacritic, surpassing Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time and Baldur's Gate 3. Now, of course, that can change, but
Is it
people
the same
are
user
freaking
reviews
out
that, is
that
it
the
same
game has
critic reviews
received
that,
such high
whatever, okay.
praise.
All
Pretty
right.
amazing. But in addition to that, even more telling than this, okay, because this is just opinion, right?
Oh, no.
How about some facts? How about the fact that Claire Obscure, within 2 weeks of release,
Oh my god,
All
dude,
right.
you're comparing dog shit with a fucking golden bar. Which would you rather have? Like, guys, this sandwich that's made with like food that you can eat is really good. It's way better than eating dog shit. Like, wow, what a take, man. Wow, you're telling me that a sandwich is tastier than dog shit? I believe you.
has sold nearly 1 million copies. I believe they actually said they did exceed 1 million copies, but I guess this was the stat as of a certain date. Okay? On Steam, garnering $38 million of gross revenue. Pretty insane. Having over 1 million total players. Okay?
This is also on Game Pass.
While
I mean, it's
Assassin's Creed
whatever.
Shadows, the current new game from Ubisoft,
Okay. It is a new game. Why is it in quotes?
580,000 copies. Okay?
Dude, and Ask Me as a franchise has been going down the tubes for years. Like, this is like annoying, an annoying comparison. Like, come on.
Of course, their gross revenue is higher. Why? Because they charged $80 for their game. Expedition
No,
33
it wasn't 70.
only charged $50. So they
I
charged
don't
less.
think it was 80 for SP
They sold
Shadows.
way
I
more.
think it was 70.
They've
I think he
made
added
more
$10,
gross
but
revenue.
whatever,
Oh,
okay.
by the way, they're also on Game Pass. So whatever arrangement they have with Xbox/Microsoft,
So
they're
then
making
it can
money
also
on that.
inflate the number. I love that DSP used to say, well, it's not really clear how Game Pass works. And then Game Pass does this. So, like, it says these total numbers, and it's Game Pass. He said this a lot. He said this about Halo. Look at Halo Infinite. Look how, or Halo 5. He said, yeah, they're not releasing the numbers because they're looking at Game Pass. These are Game Pass numbers, and this and that. But now suddenly we're accepting Game Pass numbers, and we are now saying that this game is amazing. I mean, whatever. I like this game, but this is the type of shit I if you do this and I see it, I tune out and I don't look back. This is fucking annoying. Get over yourself. Move on from Masquerade Shadows. Oh my god, wow, this game is dumb, man. I don't like what they did. Okay, good. I'm glad you have an opinion. But why do we keep revisiting this fucking game? Move on.
Yeah. Plus, they're outselling the company they all quit because they
Oh
said
my
this company
god!
sucks
And I'm gonna say, yeah, look, I wish I could do this to the helicopter company.
ass.
Yes. DSP
It's
now
run
suddenly cares
poorly. We don't like
about
where the game.
how these bosses mistreat their employees. But in the previous the gaming news segment about Polygon and Giant Bomb, he really did not give a fuck about these bosses that mishandle their employees or just did not give a fuck about what they bought, right? But now we suddenly care about how the bosses run these companies. Oh yes.
Where the games are going, we're going to split off and do our own thing. And they have thoroughly, utterly destroyed and trounced their own former employers.
Okay, wow. Are you gonna play
I
Metaphor?
mean, in every aspect of success, they have completely destroyed them. The reviews are better. People are playing it longer. People are buying it more. People are loving the game, every aspect of it, right? I mean, it's
Oh
insane.
man.
It's absolutely
Yes.
insane.
Okay, man, dude. This dude is definitely
It's
the
out of
kind of
control.
guy that would say, "God,
And it's
turn-based
good.
games is finally
It's
back."
good news.
Even though turn-based
Want to
games
know
have been
why?
around for
Because
a
I've
long
had
time.
enough. I've had enough
God.
of these dumb-ass corporate bigwig morons who think they understand what gamers want.
Dude,
They don't play games.
where was this energy with Giant Bomb? Giant Bomb got like fucking me. They was like, oh yeah, I guess they just didn't. They were like, you don't understand the climate, so we're gonna shut you down. Even though the Giant Bomb thing was literally like, hey, what's Grand Theft Auto? What is that? Oh, like I'm just gonna pocket your money, so like eat it. Oh, I can't say anything about that. I think they were just selling Giant Bomb that they don't understand the climate and they don't think the value of fucking journalism or whatever the fuck. But now with this, yeah, fuck this. See, it's because easily, since this is an easy dunk on a boss and all this other stuff, he's willing to jump on it. But when it comes to like these like a little bit more like stories about other stuff that's a little more complicated because at the same time like a lot of people like are dogging on Polygon and all this other stuff, but so some people like DSP may be a little bit less inclined to openly state that it is kind of fucked up as to what happened, even though you can easily just feel two things at the same time of yeah, Polygon has made dumb articles, but I also think that there are some good in that company. Whatever, you can have these like fucking thoughts, but DSP, of course, being the baby man that he is,
games. They don't know anything about the industry, but they were born rich. So they sit there in positions of power thinking that they're smarter than us because they were born with a silver spoon in their mouth and they went to Ivy League
Where was
universities
this
that their
when
parents
like
paid
with Valnut,
for.
whatever
They
the
literally
fuck
were
bought
handed
Polygon?
everything
Where was this
in their entire
attitude
lives.
then?
But they act like
those billionaires that bought those companies, those publications, they were all smart, intelligent. Those are the good billionaires, I guess. But these are the bad billionaires. Oh yes, how dumb of me.
That we don't. They've never had a moment of actual stress or strife or having to actually earn anything.
Oh,
Instead, they just get thrown into success and they fail upwards. Every time that they fuck up, they're rewarded and they get promoted, right? Ubisoft, are you kidding me? Think about Ubisoft 10 to 15 years ago. They could do no wrong. They had Assassin's Creed.
They could do no wrong. People liked Assassin's Creed up until like 2. I mean, they like Brotherhood and Revelations, but after that, people fell off with 3. 4, Black Flag was decent. I guess people like that game. That got back on track. And then they didn't like Unity. And then after that was like Syndicate, which I don't think did much. It was like, okay, Syndicate's out. And since then, it's just like, people liked Origins because it opened up to a more open world, like Witcher style kind of game. Then, like, Odyssey continued that, and then it started stagnating right after Odyssey, basically. They just did the same thing. And then they tried something different, but people obviously hated Shadows for multiple reasons. But it just had a bad track record because guess what? Ubisoft, by this point, has also lost a lot of their clout for years. Like, come on,
Three.
dog.
They had
Wake up.
all of the Tom Clancy games. They had Far Cry, right? They had Rayman. I can keep going. There's probably like 12 to 15 franchises that Ubisoft all had that were absolutely amazing. Freaking Prince of Persia, right?
Prince of
I keep
Persia.
going.
You didn't play the new one
Well,
though, and
guess
people
what?
like that one. But whatever. Okay. It's
Guess
not
what?
a 3D one though.
What do they have today? Today, they have to like bend over backwards to get people to even care about Assassin's Creed, and then it still sucks and underperforms and
How do
doesn't
they
sell.
bend over backwards?
Even after massive delays
Whatever,
and say,
okay.
hey, trust us, this isn't all about this. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying?
Pretty ridiculous. They have completely lost their way.
But what
They are
if this is a
not
one-hit wonder?
in line with
Everything
what
about
gamers
that?
want. They don't listen. They just try to pump out products that are going to
Man. Okay.
sell to raise money and capital for the shareholders and to line their own pockets instead of saying, let's make something creative.
He says this when it's shitting on Ask Creed, but anything else he's just silent about.
Let's
Pick
make
and choose,
something
right?
fun. Let's make something noteworthy. Something
Yeah,
that
they didn't think about making
stands
anything
out
fun,
among the
right? Yeah,
pack.
they made
Let's do
Ask Creed
something
Shadows and never thought of fun.
Original.
Okay.
Something memorable. So when people play this game, they will be like, remember that moment that was so amazing and different from everything else? And
Okay,
it resonates,
okay, you
and
know
I'll
what?
remember that.
Okay, what part of Expedition 33 does DSP remember? What part of that game is he like, other than it's weird? It's like these other RPGs. I don't even think he knows what's going on in the story. I don't know.
For that. Instead, they say, what's the most samey thing we can do that's safe that will sell? I played 9 hours of Assassin's Creed.
All right, we heard this 1,000 times.
The makers of Clair Obscur Expedition 33 have rekindled the creative juices that are needed to make a truly unique, fun, and interesting gaming.
Okay, Death Stranding is a unique game. So unique that people hate the game or they love the game. But DSP, it doesn't seem to care about what that game has done creatively. He does not care that this game is purely out of deliveries. And how they made this gameplay loop entertaining is a mystery. I really don't understand why I like Death Stranding as much as I do. Like, it's a fun game. But DSP just does not care about the gameplay loop at all. Like, come on.
Gaming experience. They are showing the world that you don't have to be $5 zillion budget, 500,000 employees.
Well, of course.
You don't need insane marketing.
If you played enough indie games, you know this. Like, this is another rant we've had 1,000 times. Even with Hades. Okay.
Marketing. You need none of that. What you need is talent. And passion. The two things that AAA developers no longer have.
Is that why you still play AAA games? Like,
Clair Obscur.
Look how little he plays these indie games. And the indie games he plays are fucking like shovelware almost. Schedule 1. Digging a hole. But then when people show him actually interesting ones, I don't want to play that. This looks weird. Okay, dude.
Your Expedition 33 for doing so well. It is absolutely stacking up to be one of the best games of this entire generation. I'm loving it, and I can't wait to play more. Bravo. And if you haven't played Clair Obscur yet, what are you waiting for? It's one of the best looking, best playing, well-written,
I like this game, but this dude makes me want to hate
of the last 10 years.
I hate it. This
Why
dude will
are
make
you
you
sitting
hate
on
games.
it? I don't like turn-based RPG.
Oh, man. Fun, dude.
Well, start liking them, because they're good.
People
Stop
like
being
the turn-based RPG. Oh, God.
Of the last 10 years. Why are you sitting on it? I don't like turn-based.
And I love that he's shitting on people who may not like the genre. Like, I didn't like the genre. I gave Persona 5 a chance, and then I ended up liking it. But it's still, like, I can understand why some people may not like turn-based RPGs. But this attitude makes people not want to buy it because you look like a fucking tool. Like, oh, you should like it. What if they don't like it, man?
Based RPGs. Well, start liking them.
DSP should start like Bayonetta 3. Oh, I don't like Bayonetta 3. I don't like that she has witch powers. I don't like that she's a woman. Try it. I mean, come on.
Because they're good. Stop being a bitch.
Oh, that was a bigot, but you said bitch instead.
Stop it right now. See, this is you. I don't like turn-based RPGs. Stop it. Stop. Go play it. Stop skipping good games because it's not some big AAA release.
DSP, you skip good games too. Where's Metaphor? Where's SMT3? Where's SMT5 Vengeance? Why is he playing that? That was a good game.
Oh, but there's no microtransactions in the game. So what? Oh, but there's no competitive.
This dude is only singing these praises, but listen to him talk about any other RPG. Okay. Remember RPG Overload? Oh my god, there's so many RPGs. I don't want to. There's Baldur's Gate. There's Persona 3. There's this game. I can't handle all these RPGs. And now he's like, guys, you should play RPGs. Why the fuck are you playing it? I thought we don't like long, drawn out games. This is so fucking bullshit. He's only saying this because Clear Up Scare is the hot game of the week that he's playing right now. If he wasn't playing this game, he's like, yeah, but you guys don't care about RPGs, guys. I tried Metaphor. You guys told me to drop it.
Competitive multiplayer. Oh, I can't play it with my friends. Shut up. Go play it anyway.
Play Guilty Gear, DSP. It's a good game. Stop being a bitch. Play the game. Play Guilty Gear. Learn it. Learn Roman cancels.
Obviously, I'm exaggerating. I'm being silly. But
you're
I'm telling you it's good.
Oh,
and
he's being
I'll be
silly.
honest,
I didn't know. I didn't know. His comedy is so good. I didn't
this
know.
kind of game because it is a throwback to a turn-based era of RPGs. Today, everything has to be action button mashy,
But
right?
he says he's being silly, but then he doubles down on the sentiment of like of just people and what they buy and what their habits are. Like, fucking shut up.
Kingdom Hearts, Final Fantasy 16.
But Kingdom Hearts has always been an action game. They didn't change Kingdom Hearts from turn-based to that, and that's how it always has been. Like, you can make the criticism that they made Kingdom Hearts combat into Final Fantasy, but I don't even think that's true. Final Fantasy 16 is a completely different game, and I think it's clear that they want to make each one different. Like, whatever, you know, I used to be on the side of like, yeah, they should make Final Fantasy turn-based again, and it's like, you know, maybe that ship has sailed. Maybe they don't want it to be turn-based anymore, and they like the combat that they're doing now. I kind of think, the remake and rebirth games have better combat than 16. 16 is fine. I just think it's really easy.
Tales of whatever. Mash, combo, action, mash.
Dude, the Tales of games have had the same combat from what I'm to understand. I mean, maybe not. Maybe I'm speaking on my ass on that one, honestly. But I think Tales of Rise is a little bit more action heavy. But that's still a solid game. But whatever. Like, why is he mocking these games that are trying to appeal to a wider audience? You know, if you realize that, you know, maybe these companies want more people to buy their games, and you just don't want to sell it to the same people over and over. Like, you know, there's nothing wrong with that either, but sometimes people just want to expand their customer base because they want more people to play their games. Why do you think Persona 4 is vastly different from 3?
Mash, combo, action, big explosion. That's not the end all.
This is really ironic coming from DSP, who has talked about pretty graphics before. He literally is like this dude is like, I like pretty graphics for his ray tracing. And where's this? He has shutdown games that are not looking good. Fucking Kingdom Hearts, Kingdom Come Deliverance. He didn't want to play the second one because the first game looked so bad. Didn't want to give it a chance. He has shadowed games for how they looked for years, even recently. Get out of here.
End all be all of RPGs, even though sadly the big companies have like turned us into that, conditioned us to want that, I guess.
Oh my god, he's actually doing the talking point that is making the rounds on Twitter of like, well guys, turn-based combat is back, finally. Meanwhile, there were actually turn-based games that came out in the meantime that nobody played or cared about. That was actually doing decent for their genres, right? Or their franchises.
Sometimes you could do something different that actually stands out. This game 1,000,000% stands out. I strongly recommend it.
Dude, it's like Persona 5.
One of my favorite games I've played in a while. I can't wait to play more. And I hope that you will check out the playthrough and you'll check the game out for yourself. All right? If you don't, it's okay. I can't make RPGs. And AAA studios have tried. I'm emphasizing do yourself a favor and don't miss out on a game that's truly amazing because you have a bias against turn-based RPGs.
He has a bias against indie games. Tell him to play like an interesting indie game. He'll not play it. You have to like trick him into playing it.
And AAA studios have tried to tell you for the last 10 years that they suck. They don't. They're actually quite good.
When has AAA studios said that? They have not said this. Okay, man, sure.
The problem is, when you're not button mashing 90% of the time, you actually have to entertain the gamer with other stuff, and that's the problem. These game developers,
oh my god,
and these
dude, there is a conspiracy theory going on with his playthrough. By the way, I just want to highlight this. There's a move that apparently instant kills. I didn't make it that far in Clear Obscure, so I can't say for sure. But there's a move that you can't block. You have to do like a perfect block or a perfect dodge or whatever. And if you don't prepare, you die. But DSP has been able to tank these attacks random, like out of nowhere, and nobody knows why. To the point where now it's theorized that he has secretly lowered the difficulty to easy. Now I wonder if this is like the Yakuza games, where if you die enough times, the game will prompt you to lower the difficulty, because there are times in that game where you'll be annoyed and you'll be mashing X to get to the to respawn or whatever the fuck. And sometimes I have actually accidentally turned on easy mode. Just how like frustration is mashing. And he has done that too. So I wonder if Clear Obscure has that kind of mechanic where it's like, hey, if you die enough times, it will prompt you, hey, do you want to lower to easy? And I could see him mashing because he doesn't pay attention. But okay.
Modern studios don't know how to do it. They don't know how to entertain you. Because turn-based can be seen as, you gotta be patient, it's a little boring. But if the game is done well, it's still entertaining.
But what if they don't want to make
I must be inputting something.
What if they just don't want to make a turn-based game? He's acting as if like the only reason why action games exist is because they don't want to make a turn-based game. But you realize that not every developer wants to make a turn-based game. Not every turn-based developer wants to make an action game. Like, okay.
Something. Like, that is literally Final Fantasy 16. Every moment.
It's a hack and slash.
Into this combo, into this attack, into
Dude,
this...
if you're playing Final Fantasy 16 as purely as a turn-based RPG or just an RPG and not as a hack and slash, like, of course you're gonna hate it. It's like playing Mario Party and acting as if it's a platformer. Like, what are you doing? You're playing a fucking party game.
This ability, this charge, then this... That's not an RPG, man. It's not.
Okay,
that's like you did that to a kid with ADD. So they don't fucking bounce off the walls
oh
instead.
Oh my god. And then we're sitting on AD. See, this is why I think when he says you have a condition, he's talking about autism, because I think he's more willing to say ADD before he says autism. Before he says, are you autistic? Because, autistic, calling people autistic could be seen more negatively than saying, do you have ADD? But, it's whatever. It can both be offensive in their own way, but DSP perceives things in DSP ways.
That's what they made RPGs into. Like, what is this garbage?
Like what?
No, RPGs are supposed to be you think. You actually have to strategize.
Then why did you play then I guess Like a Dragon Pirate Edition was made for people with ADD, right? Because Like a Dragon was a turn-based game, then they bring back action? Weird, huh?
Guys, and use your brain power instead of just mashing,
oh my god,
tactile inputs. You have to think about what the hell you're doing.
RPGs. You don't have to think.
Really?
Like in Metaphor, half the time I forget about the fucking placements where you go back or forward.
I received a $2 tip. We're at $44 by the end of today's. Let's get our first.
Okay, we're doing this gag again. Oh my god.
Extra time. What I'd like to do is open up the show
with Q&A.
Very nice. Yes, I played the original Gears of War. I owned it on Xbox 360. I played it and actually really liked it.
Okay, sure you did. Let's check what he's doing now. Okay. Oh, King's Tax 104.
Special order again.
Wow, he gonna order the seemed like he had fun in this podcast.
To order. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the Switch 2 by the end of today's streams.
Is there anything worthwhile?
Really? Cup of Barack Obama says The Last of Us TV series has lost 48% of its audience. You were right, the show is going to flop. Now, when you say that, are you saying that's
Oh
that's
my God.
season 2 lost 48% of the audience of season 1? Is that what you're saying? I wouldn't be shocked. And then they already announced
Okay.
season 3, but I bet season 3 will be even worse.
Okay.
I'm telling you,
Who cares?
season 1 worked because
Oh my God, dude! I don't want
like
to hear this.
first game she's a girl, in the second game she's an adult. She still has the face of a child, but she's grown up. She has an adult body.
What?
Ellie literally is exactly the same in season 1 and season 2 of Last of Us, the show. It's
Now, I did kind of like, I was curious about this actress because I didn't know if whatever, but she is actually in her 20s, by the way. So, it's not like that she was still a teenager. I mean, just saying.
it's not believable that a tiny girl with the girl of a body of a 12-year-old is going to go around mass murdering
She's
people
not 12 years
to
old,
avenge
though.
Joel.
She's
It makes no sense at
in
all.
her
It's
20s,
completely
but
stupid.
okay.
So when they cast
Wait,
tiny
what?
girl with the girl of a body of a 12-year-old, it's going to go around mass murdering people to avenge Joel. It makes no sense at all. It's completely stupid. So when
How
they
do you
cast
know
the show,
that?
they were completely fucking idiotic and didn't know what
Whatever.
the fuck they were
Like,
doing. They
okay,
should have
fucking
actually
cry
cast
about
a
it.
young girl to play Ellie in the first season so that she could grow up and then she could actually become adult Ellie in
But look at when it airs.
season 2.
You don't need to think about this. Okay, move on.
Is there a French Street Fighter character? Mono. Mono is French.
Yeah, where was this person? Mino's the goat. Wow, how do you not know that? Mino the goat. Every time I see a fan of Mino, I want to play Street Fighter 6 again, but then I want to listen to Guilty Gear music, so I'm conflicted.
$1 billion of gold in his yard and the government took it all? No, not until right now. What's my opinion on the viral 100 men versus 1 gorilla debate? It's stupid. No one should care. It's dumb. Did I hear about a French man who found $4 billion of gold in his yard and the government took it all? No, not until right.
Okay.
What's my opinion on the French? They're fine people.
Oh my God, we're doing the meme Q&A where he's like, okay.
You know the truth? I've never had authentic good French food. I would like to try it.
Oh my God.
I've heard good things about
Yeah,
actual
eat
like,
a snail.
high-end French
Fucking
food.
eat it.
I've never had an
escargot.
opportunity to try it.
Eat
When
a
I
frog.
first moved here,
Eat tartar.
it was a French
whatever.
restaurant, and I went there. But what I didn't realize, it wasn't authentic. It was French fusion.
Oh my God.
Cheese on a pizza. Then I
These
haven't had any
fucking
French food. There's
can,
no
like, fucking go to Mars for all I care. Send them away.
Blackie Cat says, I think Expedition 33 might actually sell better than Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Crazy world we're living in. It will.
Wow, this thing that's on more platforms. Meanwhile, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is on what? Only the fucking PS5 and PC. Wow, you're telling me a thing that's on like 4 PC, Xbox, and PlayStation. Yeah, 3 platforms is gonna outsell a thing that was on 2 consoles that just released on PC this year. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
It won't. Well, not Rebirth. Wait, hold on.
Oh my God.
So here's the problem. Rebirth. I have the stats actually. You ready?
Oh my God. No, I don't care about the fucking stats. Fucking. Oh, look, Rebirth had more player base. Wow, should we suck fucking Square Enix's dick? This dude literally was going on fucking pre-streams saying, look how fucking stupid Final Fantasy Rebirth is. It doesn't have a lot of players.
Within about a week.
And
this game, within 2 weeks, has gotten tons of hype, and everyone is telling everyone else to play it, and it's gaining more sales. Okay?
Okay, now I do want to listen to him talk about these fucking
here you go.
Numbers. I fooled myself. I now want to know these numbers. I want to see his stupid ass take.
Here we go. A lot more, simply because it's Rebirth. It's Final Fantasy VII. Actually,
no. This dude, this piece of shit, was on fucking streams saying, guys, okay, Final Fantasy Rebirth did sell. Square Enix fucked up. He kept hyping up how Square Enix failed so bad that Final Fantasy VII Rebirth did not sell well. Now it sold that well and is doing that well. Oh, well, it's Final Fantasy, man. Okay, dude, sure.
What ended up happening was sales tanked after this. This was all
Oh!
essentially based on pre-orders and that first wave of sales.
Oh my god, this is even dumber. This is even dumber because I thought he would at least say, "Oh, it's because this is over time and it was out longer. Then it was released on PC." Like that would make sense. But instead, he's saying, "Well, this was like the base and all this stuff." But when this game was out, he was saying that it underperformed and Square Enix was freaking out about it. But now it's all good. It's great because it's Final Fantasy. Yes.
But after that, the game tanked and didn't sell that well at all, and Square Enix got really upset. What happened with Expedition
Oh.
33?
Oh, then it tanked and they got upset even though they made 1.4 million. That makes sense. Even though I don't think they ever said that they were disappointed with these sales. They were just saying it underperformed because guess what? Obviously, a divisive remake is gonna make people not care for it.
Is that it's
But
increasing in
whatever.
sales right now. It's actually selling more and more
But what if it stops? What if it stops right
because
now?
it's actually getting legs. This game lost all its hype and stopped getting talked about within about a week. This game, within 2 weeks,
No,
has
it
gotten
still got
tons of
talked
hype, and
about.
everyone is
Okay,
telling everyone
sure.
else to play it, and it's gaining more sales.
Like Metaphor. Metaphor got a lot of
Okay?
hype too, and then
There you
that plateaued, correct? Okay. Yes, we don't talk
So
about
over
that.
time, perhaps it'll do better. We'll have to see.
How come over
Excuse me.
time that can do better, but Final Fantasy can't do better over time?
Whoa!
Oh
I
god.
just received. It's more like you are welcome. $50 tip. The goal more. I mixed up. Thank you for the correction. Thank you, Ian. Good eye. Kept trying to contact him and he ghosted them completely.
Who? Who goes to who?
Sounds good to me. And then all of a sudden, he deletes his entire social media and the casino
Oh.
kept trying to contact him and he ghosted them
No.
completely.
No. That didn't
So
happen.
you tell me,
That's
right?
incorrect. But whatever.
I think
Okay,
what it
sure.
is that he
Whatever.
realized that if he associated with the casino,
Oh
that it
my
was going to
god.
be something toxic to him because the casino has a bad rep,
No.
with the stuff that they've done in the
No.
past and
No,
everything.
no,
So at
whatever.
first he was all planned to
Okay.
super snake DSP in the casino. No, I don't believe that. No, I don't think so.
Wait, what?
But I don't think that has anything to do with him super snaking, or I don't think that was it was his master plan to super snake DSP in the casino. No, I don't believe
Oh.
that. No, I don't think so.
Yeah, of course. He doesn't believe that because he knows it's bullshit. And he knows what he
Why don't I
says
do
is
something
also
with him now? I
bullshit.
have no way to contact him. Like the only way that I would
He's
had to
back
talk
on
to him would have
Twitter.
been via like
But on
XDMs. He closed his X account entirely. And he said, "Oh, you want to contact me? Go to Reddit." I've never been on Reddit. I'm never going to go to Reddit.
wow, another wrinkle to the story. So there was a way for this dude to contact him. I can't contact him. But then he says, go to Reddit. Oh, I can't go there because that's a scary place. He doesn't want to go to Reddit because he may get, I don't know, something may happen.
Going to try to talk to this guy on fucking Reddit. If I had a private line to him, a way to contact him and talk to him, I would. But I don't have a way to do that.
Okay.
Was to maybe do the Mario Kart Lego this month, but I'm not going to spend $170 on a Lego set when we can't raise a goal on a stream.
Okay. Like you were
We're right in position to hit the goal. We're at 100.
Okay, sure.
Doing 2 goals there.
What are these animations? He has a TV with a face on it. He has a microphone. Why? Okay.
Jasper's in the closet again.
Oh man, he's in the closet again. Oh man, wow. Okay. Dude, why does he just have the timer on his entire stream? Why is this such a big deal? What is the
Doing pretty
point?
good. Okay. Thank you guys for podcast. Okay.
Oh my god, and he ends on that. Oh. Well, that is it for this video. Thank you for tuning in. You know what? Okay, I'm gonna do another bonus video. I am gonna do a doodle, not a video. I lied. I mean a doodle based on how he looks today. So let's get my little DSP sketchbook out. Okay, so let's see. I'm gonna open the music app. We're gonna play some fun music. Let's see. I'm gonna go to my full screen. Yes. Let's see. Oh man, this is probably gonna be a pain. Okay, we can do this. This is Guilty Gear music. It's goated music. Oh. What is going on? Why is... Okay. Oh, you know what? I could do desk view. Too late now. Let's see. Let's see if I can do that. Let's see. I have no idea. No, I should do this later. In the future, there may be a desk view. Shouts out. There may be a desk view in our future. All right. There you go. This is another sketch of DSP. Yeah, I'll post this on Twitter. You'll get to see this on Twitter. It's gonna be hype. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.